First major league home run for Michael Busch, and it gives the Dodgers the lead at 3-2. Boy, Busch got a curveball that hung, and he hammered it. And major league home run number 1 for Michael Busch.
In the toss, they have deferred, and off we go from Philadelphia on this Thursday night. Devin Allen drops it at the 1-yard line. And to the outside he goes, breaks a tackle at the 15. A lot of room to roam. Out past the 40, into Colts territory, and all the way down to the 26-yard line.
Pickett down the near sideline, and that ball is hauled in. George Pickens with the reception, 35 yards against Natron Brooks.
Really appreciative of the effort, not only tonight, but kind of through this whole process of development. Just can't say enough about the group, the energy that they bring daily, and hopefully it's a catalyst for us as we transition out of preseason ball to regular season ball. Appreciate the efforts tonight. We saw some of the things that we wanted to see from the units and had an opportunity to highlight some guys. Still got some growth ahead of us, obviously.
Good morning, everybody. Coffee and Cream, DB.
What up?
Andrew Rogers, happy to be with you on 590 ESPN Radio. We're live on Twitter, live on YouTube, the Hurrdat Sports YouTube page. You can get involved with the show. Call us on the Warhorse Casino phone line, 888-638-4876, or you can send us a comment on YouTube or a DM on Twitter. We will see it there. A jam-packed show. Heavy on the guests today.
Yeah, for some reason.
We have Dennis Dodge coming at 7:30. Donnie. I put Dennis.
Well, we got Dennis.
Down Dennis.
Do you know what that is?
Donnie, yes.
Dennis Dodge.
Yeah, that's why I wrote down Dennis Dodge.
I get it.
We have Donnie Dodge.
Told Shane we need to be working on our college football. Shane just
get a little Dennis Dodge.
Good morning.
In there, huh?
Shane just schedules whoever the heck he wants to. This dude, he's something else, man.
All right, Donnie Dodge, not Dennis Dodge, coming in at 7:30. Mike Huffman, as a part of our coaching carousel across the high school scene, he will stop in at 7:45. We'll talk to him about week 0 and moving forward with that team. And then at 8:45, Brian Edwards. We didn't get to him yesterday, but we'll eventually get those betting lines for the weekend. Mike Sautter at 9 o'clock. Omaha Whiskey Fest in studio, I'm assuming. Shane? Yes? No? Maybe so? 9.
That is correct.
And then Matt Vrzal at 9:45. So, yeah, guest heavy today. We'll see if we even get to trivia. It's all college football based, but if we don't get to it, we don't get to it. DB, today's a big day.
Yeah.
High school football game day.
I'm ready to go, man. Like, these Friday shows on game days are always interesting for me. You know, Shane's going to have to remember that going forward. It's like he forgot when we put our lineup together. So that won't happen again. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink for Shano. But I'm ready to go, man. Got a taste last night. Watched Millard North, Papio. Not surprised at all. Probably 28-10 surprised me, but the fact that
Papio got the win.
Papio won did not. If we talk a lot about previews and what's going on in high school football, it's just a team I like. I think Papillion is not a great matchup.
Well, you've been on the Prestito train for a while.
Oh yeah, like they got a great two-headed monster. I mean, Barrientos would play for just about any other team in the Metro, and he's part of that two-headed monster they have. But Prestito is way good, and Millard North plays so much man-to-man defensively, and I think Coach Williams has a pretty good bead on their defensive scheme, and it's just kind of one of those matchups that is kind of probably always give Millard North defense some problems. Just how Papio likes a lot of misdirection, pull, screen game. Like, it's just sometimes it can be hard when you're a pressure kind of defense. So good on that bunch. I felt like his offensive line
at Papio
played well.
Well, that's what he said after the game too, when he stopped by with Sautter.
Oh, okay.
He said the same thing. Like, O-line wise, like that's where we won the game.
Yeah, and I just kind of like their I like their it seems like a tight team, right? And, they went to team camp, they were out of town. I think, Coach Williams, that staff, like they love hard, right? And they're for one another. I think this is just my outside observation. Nobody's really said this to me. I just feel like they feel like they're not Papio South, right? It's not flash and dash, and I just think they're the blue collar bunch, and they kind of embraced it, man. They put it on Miller North pretty good, especially in the second half. Surprised that Vermas and Newberry couldn't get more touches. Like they gotta figure that. Far be it from me to tell them how to play as an opponent, but as a host, I talk about games all the time, so this is where I'm coming from on this show. You got to get those guys the ball, because you got to find a way to get some chunk plays. Too much
talent back there
that doesn't come from such a quarterback-centric run game. But they got these little schemes, man. This little scheme we call quick, that gave us some fits a couple years ago at their. I don't forget, right? Like, remember 2 years ago, was it Lindemeyer, his senior year. They had a couple big ones and a couple throwback screens against us. We pressured them on third down. We were playing out there at Papio's place. They got us. And conversely, I see Miller North's offensive line schemes. I'm like, yep, they went to this quick thing against us. Their fullback had a field day. I bet he rushed for over a hundo, maybe, against us, just because were
they short yardage runs?
Yeah, well, they're not really. It's kind of like, so tackle blocks down, guard pulls, he kicks out. It's a very tight window. You have to hit it pretty snug, and they get so downhill. And it took us a little bit to figure it out. But it's not very many fronts that you can show Coach Petito and that staff that he hasn't seen. So we play them balanced. We don't let them count. We split it. We try to play it even and go to work. But I think better days are ahead for them. The problem with Miller North is their schedule is not very kind. So they got to rally quickly because it doesn't get easier. I think they got prep next week. And how about prep schedule? So
who is the hardest schedule, do you think?
I don't
think it's
know.
prep?
It's up there. It's up there. Bellevue West, us. Millard North, they have Millard West, and I think Millard South. Yeah, but tonight should be fun. Thank goodness Mother Nature chilled for a little bit. And we're going to catch a break with 90 something today.
That is, that's a plus, right? After what we've been dealing with over the past couple of days.
So I'm pretty pumped. No, I'll try to stay focused. We typically have football Fridays, so anything other than that it's a crapshoot. I may or may not be paying attention, so it's just how it is.
You're thinking about the game.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
And now tell me,
I'm not that professional.
Okay, tell me this first game of the year. Like, what's the expectation for these guys? When are they showing up?
Like for our team?
Yeah, your team.
I think showtime will probably be 4:15, 4:25-ish.
When are you out on the field?
Special tees will be out at 6:02. When we stagger 6:02, 6:09, the bigs will come out at 6:18. Not that I've memorized the exact times, but
you did.
Try to be off the field with about 18 minutes and go do our thing.
How locked in are your boys? Like excitement.
Very. So for me, this one's interesting for me because I got a senior, and this is it, right? And they've
first game.
Yeah. So everyone we get will be the last time we do it, and it's for us. It's such a special senior class with Rezak Squared and Nick Anglem and Bo Ryan and Andrew Nielsen and I mean those guys, Caleb. They have Spady. They have, and there's JQ Osler, RJ Eckert. They have played so long together. And so for me, you just have to stay in the moment, right? Because I'm not super nostalgic, but this is the first time that I've gone through it with the last hurrah. So, you know what I mean? So I'll figure it out.
Well, how about a great transition from that? The article that Tom Chattel wrote yesterday about you and your family. I mean, what an unbelievable piece.
I should not have. It's why it took me a little bit to get warmed up yesterday.
Feel like it did me as well.
I should not have read that article first, but my guy B. Scobie,
great story.
He sent me these heart emojis with, man. So I took a peek and I was like, fudge. I probably should have chilled. But listen, we're ready to go, man. I love everything about what we're doing. I saw a couple of other coaches from the Metro last night. We had one in our building. He was watching a little volleyball and got a chance to talk to him. There's just so many big matchups. And I'm pretty objective. And so even when I see guys like, Tyson Terry has a post, right? Hey, come on out and support us. And I'm like, yeah, go support Tyson Terry, or, Fo Woodard will have a post. And I'm like, yeah, go. Like, I just love high school sports. Mm-hmm. So there's no kids that I don't cheer for. But when it's us against everybody else, when we're playing, like, that's where you draw the line. Like,
it's your team for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, and I get, like, it's go time.
Yeah.
It is absolutely go time. So we'll lock in. I'm just looking forward to it. Fridays are long days if you don't manage your emotions. So I'm just trying not to get caught up in the moment.
How long has it been since you heard that intro? 8 months?
Yeah.
9 months?
And, we only had 4 home games last year, so
at least you got some playoff games at home.
Yeah, in the regular season. So we're looking forward to the friendly confines, and it'll be a heck of a test just because, Prep's got a game under their belt, and I kind of liked them.
They played well.
They play really hard, and he's got a young team, so that's kind of like if you're a J backer, like that's pretty exciting and weird. Right, I cheer for Coach Young. Mm-hmm. I love their defensive coordinator. He used to be our film guy at GA. I cheer for those guys, right? So, every time but tonight. Every time but tonight.
You got to watch out for Zach McClay.
So I'm gonna say this and move on. He's a Division I football player.
All right, move on.
I don't know what people are missing. Number 10 is sensational.
He's a good player.
He was like that last year, and he's better this year. And you know what? My favorite thing I watched him really, really close because a couple of schools he minds his own business. This dude just goes to work. Makes a play, gets back to the huddle, makes another play, gets back to the huddle. He is super. I enjoy watching him a bit, and he's good enough where when we're our first Saturday, right, for install and we're in perimeter blocking game. We're in helmets only, and our perimeter run block, like, that was the first point of emphasis. We have got to be able to handle this secondary with our wide receivers when we're out in space because they get after it.
He reminds me of a guy I watched in college when I went to school. He was a senior when I was a freshman. Set the all-time tackles record in D2 football. Mm-hmm. His name's Connor Harris. He got signed to like the Arizona Cardinals and some other teams, but he went undrafted after school. But when I watched him play, he was just a headhunter.
Yeah.
Like every single time the ball was on the outside or it made its way to the middle because he played middle linebacker, he was involved in every tackle. Every tackle. They throw the ball 15 yards down the field. Who's involved in the play? Connor Harris.
Oh, yeah.
That's Zach McClay.
So, and I told our guys, listen, some highly touted guys on the football field. Don't think that's not motivation for him, right? Who will be the best safety on the field tonight? If you like good secondary play,
take notes.
hit 89th and Pacific, because you will see some very good tackling and some very good safety play. I'm pumped for Teddy Rizak, his second year at patrolling the back waves, depending on wherever we put him, because he's got some versatility. But just another year under his belt. He was thrown into the fire when we had to move some guys around. Like I am excited to see physicality tonight, especially from the back end, because I think ultimately that's going to be the difference for a lot of these teams that want to be in the hunt late November. Keep an eye on secondary. Some of these offenses are so good. Gretna's screen game, Newberry and Vermont in the open field. You saw Prestito once he gets in space. Like, there's a lot of those guys. I mean,
Elkhorn South is well put together.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to play in space, right? And you can't forget about stop and run, but tackling and coverages in the secondary will be pretty big this year, in my opinion.
Southeast tonight, 6-7.
Yeah, I think that's 4, right? They moved that game to 4.
Yeah, they moved it up.
Yeah, that's going to be spectacular too.
Which is great because it's better for me.
Yeah, it is.
Selfishly, I can now attend.
I mean, feel free to pick the best game of the slate, because it's not just Class A. I mean, this thing is loaded. We haven't even got to Bellevue West North.
Nope. Nope.
There's a lot of
2 and 3.
Yeah, a lot of Division I guys out on the field, and a couple soon to be.
And then you have South and West, and West is receiving votes.
Yeah.
I mean, across Class A. That's why I was sitting here when we were talking just about Millard North. I'm like, where do they drop in the rankings after?
I don't think you can hammer them.
Right. And not that week 1 says everything. But because you have, Southeast, so whoever loses that game, they'll drop a little bit lower, probably lower than North will, because you can't have North drop all the way down. Or maybe you can, because you're looking at the so-called strength of the game.
I think it's going to take a handful of weeks to kind of figure out.
And that could be the case too.
Especially with the tough early slates for some people.
But if Gretna, Kearney, and Grand Island get wins, does Millard North drop to 10?
Oh, I don't know. I doubt they'll. See, here's the thing that Millard North won't worry about.
Where they're at in the
because
standings.
Before you got here, they made a run to the state finals with a 3-6 record.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, so and that's just an offense that takes a little time. It's timing. I'm surprised they were so clean with the exchanges. Like that's a tough offense to run, but I am. You see, I get the leg shakes. Fridays just go like this.
It's cool though.
It just goes.
Does it
like
feel
this.
like it takes forever? Because for me, if I were in your shoes, I think it'd feel like it'd take forever for game to get here.
I think I'm better, right? Because Zoe was the only child that I saw leaving the house, so I obviously just called Caleb right before the show started, and so I'm better, right? But it's a long time.
No way you got sleep last night.
It was tough. It was tough.
Were you mapping out plays in your head?
No, so I don't worry about like schematics so much, because I feel like whatever it is we're gonna do. What I want is maximum effort. Like that's all I really care about. Like, just play hard. We were a traditionally slow starting team, and so that's a little bit of a concern when you play a team that's got a game under their belt, because
you're kind of holding your breath.
So we need. I mean, we played from behind for a team that was supposed to be good last year. So we need to get our ass in gear and get it in gear early. So that's what I'm after. I don't even know our first play on offense. And I want to so bad. I just want, hey, Coach Secor, man, HBO, help a brother out. Like, let me know. But he's a plotter and a schemer, and he's cooler than the other side of the pillow, man. He's just a chill dude. It's like he's
I like that analogy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he spent some time with him. He's pretty calm, cool customer. Talked to Coach Frank last night. That was cool. He didn't text till late. It's probably 10, and I think that's one of the things that makes him so he's got a total special place in my heart. But he's just looking out, right? Excited for you, man. Like, this is the former head coach talking about the current program. I just think that embodies what we do. So I'm
strong
cool.
culture over at Westside.
Yeah,
really strong.
And I think culture matters. I think you saw it. And I listen. I don't no disrespect to Miller North, because I didn't get to hear from them, but I do know a lot of the guys at Papio, and I listen. I know how they feel about their coach and strength and conditioning, and that's the us again. It's just a chippy, scrappy. You think Ingerson isn't tired of hearing about other players? Like, I'm pretty sure he is. Right? I think Prestito's it's just.
They're like, I'm here too.
I just think that's what makes high school special. I think rivalries are still strong. I think that you can have disdain and still have respect.
Well, the talent is just so widespread, and even if it does, trend in one direction over another, you can just sit back and think and be like, wait a second, I forgot that these two guys existed for a half minute, and now, oh wait, they are here, and wait, why aren't we putting you in the same conversation as this person?
Did you see Mooberry in the secondary last night?
Oh yeah,
doesn't really get his hands out in space on offense, just trying to annihilate people on defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are the kinds of things that I like to see at this level, because it's still, for the most part, it's still pretty pure, right? As I'll give my leg this,
hold it down. It's cool though. It's cool to be jittery.
Yeah.
Those first game jitters are kind of something I'd like to ask Coach Huffman about too, because does that give you a strong advantage tonight against North?
Yeah.
You'd have to think so.
He oozes intensity. So, like, we'll see how it comes through the phone, and I don't think there's any love lost between the two staffs. So, I think he hears some of the whispers. Oh, are they really that good? And he'll be dialed in. He stays on the gas as a head coach. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Shane, let's go to line one, the Warhorse Casino phone line, and talk to Cody as we sit here and talk high school football. Cody, good morning.
Good morning. I know I'm on a pitch clock right now. So first off, Andrew, I'll miss you. Damon,
I appreciate that.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Damon, good luck tonight. Pierce is an absolute BA. I'll let you guys fill the blank.
Yeah, he's a thoroughbred.
Yeah, I know when I was texting you last night, I was just like, oh my, him at safety.
Yeah, he's a rangy, big, strong son of a gun.
Yeah, and then after the break, I'm just going to see with depth chart coming out today, before it comes out, if you guys give your best hypothesis on O-line and defensive back.
Yeah, well, we'll try.
We can definitely do that.
It's going to be
highly
competitive.
I'm really going to miss you, Andrew, so stay in touch.
Bigger things in store, Cody. Just stay tuned. Not just, I wouldn't say bigger things, but other things in store.
Air high five. Thanks, Cody.
Appreciate you, Cody. And you can get involved like Cody by calling 888-638-4876 at any time throughout the show. Okay, I know he wants us to get into O-line DB reaction, but we have to talk to Dennis. I almost said Dennis Dodd again. What is happening? Donnie Dodge.
Friday.
It is Friday. We have to talk to Donnie Dodge first. A couple of documentaries came out regarding the Nebraska football program. We'll touch base on those when we come back. Stick around. More CNC after the break.
The show will be back in 5 minutes. The show will be back in 4 minutes. show will be back in 3 minutes. The show will be back in 2 minutes. The show will be back in 1 minute. The show will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
All right, welcome back, Coffee and Cream here on Hurrdat Sports Radio in the morning. DB, it's game day. Andrew Rogers, happy to have you with us. Take a moment and tell you about Dingman's Collision Center, your one-stop shop for all your car needs. Question for you, DB.
Yo.
Do you need an appointment?
Yes.
Is that a must for like an oil change?
So my thermostat reading is not great, and I think it has to do with my oil change. The vehicle's only got, 24,000 miles, but yeah.
So I would have to call and say like, hey, can you get me in on Monday or something like that?
Well, they do oil changes, so I mean,
is that immediate? Do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, so I
don't know.
Like, yeah, change.
I would never but that's just me because I don't like to wait.
Mm-hmm.
So I listen, if you want to schedule me for whatever time, like I'd be that dude, but they'll definitely hook you up.
Yeah.
Well, I was coming back from Nebraska City yesterday and I drove by their Southwest location because I came from 370 down 84th.
Uh-huh.
I almost stopped at the cheese house, but I didn't. I was like, yeah, I don't want to keep it in my car because I got to get out to practice.
The blocks of cheese that you can get from there are just so good.
I know.
And I think I told you before, like they get those from Wisconsin. Like he drives there to go pick it up.
They got specialty hours, but I drove past the middle school and they have a Titan symbol. That must be the Papio South feeder. Because why I didn't know why it would just have
that's right.
Just the Titans logo. I felt like I should see some butterflies, but maybe if it's
and you're talking about right on that strip, right?
Yeah. It's kind of tucked.
It is.
Doesn't look like it would be a middle school.
Nope. Nope. It kind of comes out of nowhere too. Yeah. All right, let's go to the phone now and talk to Donnie Dodge. Shane. Donnie, good morning.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Well, hang it in there, bud. How about you?
Oh, I'm living a dream, fighting fires, and actually, Damon, I'm working with your nephew Pete.
Oh yeah, no way.
Yeah,
are you at the same precinct?
We're at the same station, same rig.
Oh, that is unbelievable. What are the odds?
It's a small world, brother. Small world. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate that.
He's clearly the best male Benning in terms of character in our family. Like,
that bar's been set pretty high. Sunshine.
He is. Listen, he is a super nephew. I'm that's my guy. He should be my running mate when he was younger.
Really?
Oh, I took him everywhere. Yeah, he's on Nebraska's schedule poster from like '96. He's just a little itty bitty kid. Yeah, that's my guy.
He's not little itty bitty anymore.
No, he's considerably bigger than me.
Talk about throwing a curveball for a strike.
Yeah,
here, huh?
good to hear from you though, Donnie. You got another production in the hopper. You got a great voiceover, and it fits kind of right along with the 100 years of tradition. I know it's 1910, but I mean we're waxing poetic here, man. Talk to me about it.
Well, we've got two gentlemen going into the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame this year, coming up here in about a month, and they both of them come from two of my documentaries. The first one is All the King's Men, 1910 Cornhusker football, and that follows the life of head coach William King Cole. And then the other one is called Dual Threat Football and Family, and that follows the life of Nebraska's very first dual threat quarterback, Leon Jerry Warner from Beaver City in 1910, 1911. And the beautiful part about this is Memorial Stadium was built as a memorial for those who fought in World War II. These guys played at Nebraska Field, which ran east and west and sat directly underneath where the South Stadium is right now. A lot of these guys that played at Nebraska Field from 1909 to 1922, they all fought in World War I. So to me, I see that it's not just a memorial for World War II. That Memorial Stadium is for all of those that fought, including Jerry Warner, who was a pilot in World War I. And so I want everybody to see these things. And they're 100% free. They're available at my website. I'm not making any money off of this. I never want to make money.
Dodgewell Productions, baby.
It's dodgewell.com, DODGEWELL.com. They're available. They're free. They're family friendly. They're super informative. And I just want people to get out there and maybe this weekend, just sit down with the family and watch these. Kingsman is about 46 minutes long, and Dual Threat is about $1.17, I believe, is what it is. And you're gonna walk away from that feeling good about yourself.
You're always thinking. Did you kind of time this with the 100 years, and now that we're actually reflecting on the birth and how Memorial Stadium came to be, because the timing is impeccable?
It's dumb luck, brother. Dumb luck. My wife bought me a picture of the 1910 the Missouri Valley Conference champions, the very first conference title for Nebraska football, and she bought me this picture, and I looked at it and I'm like, this is really cool. I want to find out some information about them. And I couldn't find anything. I even emailed the Lincoln Journal-Star, the sports desk, and I'm like, hey, do you have any information? And they're like, hey, no, you're going to have to do research yourself if you want to find anything about those guys. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to. And that was 2014. That was 2014. And I turned them into documentaries. That was 2014. And since then, I have been telling anybody that'll listen that these two guys deserve to be in the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame. They deserve it. They were the things that they did, the men that they were. They deserve the recognition. And so finally, we're going to get that. We're going to have. I know we've got King Cole's grandson and family coming in from the coast, and I know Jerry Warner's granddaughter and family are coming up from Texas. And it's going to be amazing to finally sit with those people together and celebrate the lives of Jerry Warner and King Cole.
Donnie, stay right there with the word deserved. We're talking about two influential men in the history of Nebraska. What really separates them from an all-encompassing standpoint from the guy next to them?
Jerry Warner, number one, could throw the football accurately with either hand. We're talking the big pumpkin football that they played with in that era.
If Shane had his way, he'd tell you he was amphibious.
Oh, Shane can never win.
Just saying.
Jerry Warner was the first dual threat because of the rule changes. There were 19 rule changes that happened in college football from 09 to 10. And one of those was you could run outside the tackles. Prior to 1910, you had to run within 5 yards of the tackles. You could not run outside that area, otherwise it was a penalty. So now you're talking, you've got a small quarterback, he's very fast, and he can throw the football accurately from anywhere on the field. And that is why Jerry Warner was named the best quarterback in the Missouri Valley Conference in 10 and 11. And as far as King Cole goes, and I love this story, one of those rule changes in 9 to 10 was that you couldn't do what they call the flying tackle, where guys would just run forward, no helmets, no shoulder pads. They'd cross their arms and they would launch themselves and hit the ball carrier with the crown of their head. Not a safe thing to do. In 09, it was still, you could still do it. It was still legal. King Cole said, no, my players will not do that, because in 1909, 32 kids died playing college football. Imagine that today. 32 kids died in 09 playing college football. King Cole said, not my kids. I need to keep these kids safe. So anytime anybody would do that, he'd pull them off the field. And the fans lost their minds. The newspaper writers lost their minds, saying that he's going to destroy the program, that he doesn't know what he's doing. But he stuck to his guns, and he wanted to make sure that he dug his heels in, and he said, I'm not going to let my kids hurt themselves for the sake of college football. And that is the type of character that William Cutler Cole had, and that is why he deserves to be in this Hall of Fame.
Donnie, we appreciate the time this morning. Thanks so much for giving us a few minutes. And if you want to check out these documentaries, go to dodgewell.com. Thanks, Donnie.
Thanks, guys. Go Big Red.
I appreciate it. GBR.
And as Nick has been counting down, and he's been on it from the very beginning, 6 days, GBR. He's been sending that message before the show even starts.
It's okay.
Every day.
Yeah. It's so
Nick's all in.
Well, we don't know who's wearing 6, but it's that player many days.
Is today the day that we hear about?
So maybe today or tomorrow, but it won't go later than tomorrow.
And then the depth chart will be finalized.
Yeah. Well, I think the depth chart is pretty square.
Well, they know what they want, but
yeah.
Will
we be able to see it?
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, let's pivot back to high school. As a part of our coaching corner, our high school coaching corner, Mike Huffman will be with us, head football coach at Bellevue West. We'll get his thoughts on week 0, heading into week 1, and also we'll learn more about their team, not just the 3-headed monster they have, but maybe some other pieces get overlooked.
Oh, yeah.
So we will do that with Mike Huffman. Next, stick around, Coffee and Cream, after the break.
We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio. It's the Friday Coach's Corner.
This is a process that we're going through. And although we're looking for the winning edge, shortcuts aren't one of them.
Hello? This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Can you believe they called that play?
I formation, quick 141.
94. Fullback banana, hot right.
Brown left, wide, nasty, 16 lead pass.
Just what were those coaches thinking?
They are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
On the Friday Coach's Corner.
Hey, the spot! He's up here, sir.
You misplaced the line of scrimmage, you bunch of dummies.
It's the Friday Coach's Corner.
DB, if West side is the palm of your hand, flip over your hand because Bell West is right on the other. 1-2
Yes,
in
indeed.
Class A. Mike Huffman joining us now for the Coach's Corner here on Friday, game day for nearly every high school football team now. But Coach Huffman and the group got one in a little bit earlier than the rest. They had a week 0 game. Coach, good morning.
Hey, fellas, how we doing? Good to be on, man. Looking forward to a fun game tonight against the Vikings.
It's interesting. It's good to hear your voice, man. I know we communicate a lot over alphanumeric, text, man, but it's funny. Like, if there are certain guys that are built for certain things, your personality, you're built for what has to go on to get better from week 1 to week 2. You kind of got this Teflon personality anyway. You guys march to the beat of your own drum. What's different about this week compared to last week for you emotionally?
Well, emotionally, I'm going to, stay away from the coach speak. It's been hotter. It's been hotter than a Texas prairie fire in August during the middle of the heat wave, and that 4:26 a.m. alarm is not cool. I was so happy to shut that doggone thing off. Our biggest thing is we got to get back. And, Andrew, I heard you say, you got West Side here, you got Bellevue West there. We got to earn that, man. My neck's getting sore looking up at that red and black, man. I want to get up there, at least look some eye level. It reminds me when you used to have to do – it reminds me when you used to have to – when you're the coach that drew the short straw and had to do the vertical test. Remember that stick you had to go up there and hit those things? And then for 2 dang days, your neck hurt. That's how my neck hurts looking up at new video boards, smoke and lights flickering, 17,000 different helmets and everything else. We just try, no, seriously, we like our squad. You get into the game last week. It's a season opener. I feel a lot better after watching last night because we didn't have a bunch of false starts and silly penalties and things like that. But we weren't crisp. I joked on one of the after game interviews that Danny Dimes was throwing quarters. Well, it was also it was the first super windy day, and it was, our field, if you had, I'm sure Damon's figured this out, sits the wrong way.
Yeah.
So then the wind blows the wrong way, and it was like a cross wind, but it was strong. So like if you threw one way, it was sailing. You threw it the other way, you had to, really put some juice on it, and that's tough considering we hadn't practiced at all. But we were just a little bit away. I'm pleased with the defense. Our emotions were fine. This is going to sound super cheesy, but Damon, you've known me for a long time. I watched that quarterback thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
And my biggest takeaway, besides Patrick Mahomes drops a lot of F-bombs in that weird voice, is how calm all those coaches and players stay in those clutch drives. And Damon, you know me, I tend to get excited, and not necessarily mean, but I get excited.
Yeah.
So last week when they came back and made it 14-13, because God knows we're going to miss one PAT a game. We're going to fix that this week, I hope. I was very conscious from watching a dumb Netflix show to stay calm. And, you got a guy like Danny who's always pretty calm. He's like, all right, let's go get some separation. We go down and we march the ball down the field and we get up 20 to 14. And then, we stopped them, got a couple aggressive stops by our defense. And then we were able to really, that last drive, mix of run and pass, just grind it out. And I think it was great. I think our mentality is better this year, but we've been working on it since February.
Coach Shane drops a lot of F-bombs in that weird voice, too. You're one of the few teams that can say they played in week 0. No more first game jitters. I mean, Damon Silver here still tapping his leg. He's there. He's all in. He's excited.
Coach
right?
Huffman knows how I get.
You guys are back up to game speed. Do you think that gives Bellevue West an advantage tonight heading into everybody else's week 1?
I'm a different interview than most, so I'm going to give you some true thoughts here. So, and Damon knows this.
I would hope you give me the truth all the time.
Well, so there are some positives and negatives to have played, right? And Damon and I, again, exchanged text messages last Saturday.
Yeah.
We agreed with Creighton Prep that we were not going to put our film in the huddle pool. Because in essence, Andrew, Bellevue West is preparing for 2 season openers. We don't know what North is going to do. Okay. Prep doesn't know what Westside is going to do. You have a pretty good idea because both staffs are all the same, but they get an opportunity if our film is in there to sit there and evaluate everything that we're doing. And as I know from my friend there from Boyd Circle, he knows if our receiver's right foot's up or our left foot's up, for goodness sake. So we chose not to do that, and Damon, I really appreciated your understanding with that on Saturday.
Yeah.
It was a wrestle for me. I'm not going to lie. But at the end, so Nate Newhouse, puts out his thing. That's the director of the NSAA football, and he's like, "Hey, man, there's an expectation of your films in the pool." And so I immediately got back to him. Well, what's your week 0 expectation? He goes, "We have purposely left that off there and let that up to the coach's discretion." But I think as a group, as a whole of the 31 or 32 teams that are in Class A and B, now that B, C, and D have the pool, we need to figure that out. Because I think moving forward, there's probably always going to be a week 0. But, man, that is cool because, man, they're worth thousands. This is the biggest gate that we've had since 2013, man. It's super cool for kids.
Hey, you talk about managing.
Maybe a little West Side Bell West week 0.
And he's something. So, Coach, it's interesting because it was tense, right? I mean, coaches are mad and there's arguments to be made on both sides. There's obviously no love lost between the 2 schools tonight. How do you control your emotions? You know what was going on behind the scenes with film exchange and not getting it and just the tradition between the 2 schools. You embracing it, or are you still just trying to make sure that your guys focus on you? Because I know you're a realist and you're highly competitive.
Yeah, it's interesting because in this profession, there are certain teams that year in and year out are expected to be good. I've actually got to be pretty good friends with Larry. In fact, when I did that Shrine Bowl again for the 3rd time, I wanted to know who I was going to work with. And there was a couple choices, and I said I want to work with Larry.
Yeah.
And one of the awesome side benefits with that is I got to work with Lonnie Tapp for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing human!
Hey, his glass stays half full.
And what a great coach too. But so Larry and I text quite a bit, and I think, obviously for that 48 minutes, probably a little bit longer than that, because he's wired. He's going to be ready to go by the time he gets off the bus here.
Yeah.
I try to turn it on at about 6:59, because I do like the other coaches. We're all in the same profession, and man, guys, the profession is getting hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of things that go on that are out of our control. I don't think society's helping very much, so we got to try to fix what we can. But no, I'm good, man. I hope he understands. At the end of the day, I know he's still going to like me. And the hardest thing for me is, you have to trust outside you. So I agreed not to do this. Damon, you've known me since I was 3 months. You were 3 months old.
Mm-hmm.
If I say I'm going to do something, then I'm going to do something. I was not sharing that film. And I hope that prep did the same thing. Because if you're going to, you got to be an honest and trustworthy human. So, I mean, what weird. I didn't know we were going to talk about this today. But
No. So it's interesting. I want to get into the rosters here because obviously you get Sheard to come over. He's a game changer. We know about Asher, the young secondary. It's not just what some people have referred to as the big three. TJ looks fantastic. You got a lot of guys that are kind of making and feeling their way along too. How much fun is that for these guys to try to come of age?
Well, it's a lot of fun. We're putting a lot into that defensive backfield. You got Eric Evans Jr., you got Caprice Keith, obviously both great lineage with Kenton playing in the NFL and CFL. Eric's old man's our defensive backs coach. He's in the Hall of Fame at UNI. He laughs. He said he went there as a wide receiver. They moved him in the corner. Then he ate his way into a safety and finally ended up playing linebacker. And what a great person to have back there. Those guys made their splashes. Sheard now, I don't know what it is with these linebackers coming over that can't get out of the buffet. There's some big fellas, and last year was Bouillon with number 9. And,
wow.
I've already nicknamed Sheard Salad, because he's number 2. I said, start eating some salads. And it's funny, after the game last week, wherever they went to eat afterwards, he sent me a picture of a salad. I was just dying in my basement laughing. But that's exciting. Offensively, Whaley we were hoping. Whaley's the first child of a former player of mine. Travell Whaley played for me back in Burke and, late 1990s, early 2000s. I can't remember. I'm old. But then I've always really liked Ben Goodwater. You know that.
Oh, yeah. He
is a really good football player. Tonight, you're going to see the presence of Jermaine Green. Isaiah's he's out tonight. He's got an injury. So we're going to see it. And like I said last week to the other station, man, if North can fix all those things, not planning for Isaiah between now and 7 o'clock, they're better coaches than we are. So there's no secrets here.
Yeah, just a sophomore. So welcome, Mr. Green to the equation. And it's weird because it's just your demeanor, right? No, most coaches that play that close to the vest, you're not going to say anything. So tonight, once it kicks, where do you put special teams and penalties in this one? Because you can get that a lot sometimes in openers.
The penalties in this kind of game I'm not even worried about the false starts. I'm not worried about the holdings, but I worry about the aggression and the ability to not zip your lips when they need to be zipped, right? Because we talk a lot, and we want you to toe the line. If you're going to be the playmakers in purple, and you're going to wear 5 different jerseys and 3 pants, man, you better be tough. And you better play with some swag. But we want you to touch that water, but don't you ever dive in. I worry about those types of penalties because those are killers, right? Those are the ones, you get a big 3rd down stop, you got somebody running their yap, and so they get an automatic 1st down, or we get a celebration penalty, and now we're kicking an extra point from the 25. We missed one from the 3. So I worry about those, but I'm excited for a big game.
Hey, fantastic stuff, man.
Coach. We appreciate your time this morning.
All right, guys. Enjoy it. Stay cool as we can.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Tell your AD, give him my best, man. You got one of the best in the state.
Yeah, he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the deal. Appreciate it, Coach.
Later.
That's Coach Mike Huffman, head football coach over at Bellevue West. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, there's a couple things I wanted to get to surrounding the Nebraska football program. Maybe I'll quiz you a little bit, too.
Quiz.
We'll do that next.
The show will be back in 4 minutes. The show will be back in 3 minutes. The show will be back in 2 minutes. The show will be back in 1 minute. The show will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Andrew Rogers and Damon Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
All right, guys, top of the hour on Coffee and Cream, 590 ESPN Radio here in Omaha. We're live on Twitter, live on YouTube, the Hurrdat Sports YouTube page, and we are live from the H&H Chevrolet stage at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. DB,
AR,
have you noticed that Colorado is oddly obsessed with calling Coach Rule out for stealing Deion's words, mannerisms, and coaching style?
I just don't listen.
I know you don't entertain stuff like that.
These two fan bases are going to drive me crazy with because they're both kind of living rent free in each other's heads. I mean, sometimes I get the sense that Nebraska is looking more forward to Colorado than they are Minnesota, which drives me up the wall. But I get it, right? Because I have a very, 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 very strong disdain for Colorado. Mm-hmm. But I'm over talking about Colorado until after Minnesota. Like, I don't get it. I'm telling you, AR, like, it's like people want to ask me about Bellevue West. No, man. Like, do you understand? Like, we say that blue team, you cannot wear blue in our school. Like, we had a couple guys go shirtless for having the wrong color blue on at a practice. Like, it's stay in the moment. But this obsession with what Colorado's doing in the back and forth, I get it, man. Folks don't like one another, and we're planning trips to Boulder and this, that, and the other, but I don't get it. I just don't get it.
So outside of like, the single digit jersey things that people were like all in on for like the last few weeks, there's a new episode of Matt Rule is copying Deion. And I know you don't love talking about it, but I'm going to read you what the article says. So the article on Sports Illustrated reads, the Nebraska Huskers coach channeled his inner primetime in a recent interview saying, I want guys who are interested in the NFL, not NIL. Does it sound familiar? It was actually a quote from Deion Sanders' introductory press conference at Colorado. But have no fear, Husker Nation, college football home is here to call out the slander on Twitter. They said Baylor's Matt Rule wants his players NFL ready, even if it means his own personal sacrifice. That was a headline from when Coach was over at Baylor.
So is that pre?
That was pre.
Okay.
What the introductory press conference was saying. So whoever runs that account deserves a gold star.
It's just petty, man.
Well, everybody's just grasping at straws,
It's
right?
like
It's I punch you, you punch me back. I punch you, you punch me back. But what are you fighting about at the end of the day?
Listen, man, we just worry about the Gophers and they worry about the Horned Frogs, and then we'll sort it out after that when we travel to Boulder and see what time it is. But man, this back and forth has been going on for doesn't it seem like years? And it's only been months.
Yeah, 6 months or whatever.
It is. I'm over it, man. It's just like dial in and let's play some football.
And I know Colorado loves themselves some Deion. I know Nebraska loves themselves some Coach.
Shoot, I love Deion. I mean, I hate Colorado, but I love Deion. You know what I mean? But
let's just let the narrative go, right?
Golly, it is.
Because in all honesty, how much of what coaches say and do today is stolen from what a coach said or did years ago, years before, back in the 60s and the 70s?
I told you what Coach Rule told me. I almost said Lamonji. Coach Rule told me. Coach LeBrule. Coach.
It's all right. Dennis Dodd was just with us. I mean, Donnie Dodge.
What Coach Rule said from the jump, because he was with, I told you, me and AC went up there. Adam went up there some months ago on a Sunday. And he said, look, man, I get it. People are, think I'm this or I'm that as a speaker. He said, if you listen to me in 4 years, I'll say about the same thing. Like, I got some core things that I'm always going to say, and that's it. So it doesn't surprise me that somebody drummed up something from Baylor and it sounded similar, because he told me that's what he is. He's just like, in 4 years, you're going to roll tape, and I'll probably be saying the same things at a presser. At some point, I understand my luster will wear off as a talker, so we better win some football games. He's openly said that. So, I mean, let's play ball, man.
Joey Lee on YouTube says, all the Colorado back and forth irritates me too. Let's worry about Minnesota and Colorado. Worry about why your O-line and defensive line are smaller than Omaha North.
Hey, that actually might be true. You can go to Tyson Terry's account. He's like
on Twitter.
Yeah, he's like asking North fans to come out and support at the game tonight. It's a full-fledged grown-up. Samarius Henderson, who plays next to him, is well over 300 pounds. There's going to be a lot of human.
That's a grown man.
That's a grown man right there.
He has more facial hair than I do.
That's a big kid. But Bellevue West Joey chiming in. Ask Bellevue West Joey what time he's getting to the game, because we got there last week at 6:10, and it was about the right time. We just missed the rush, which started about 6:25. That line
went tailgate rush.
Yeah, because I imagine the crowd will be similar to.
You'd have to think
about a week ago. Yeah. How about Huffman just having the stones? He's like, yeah, McMorris isn't going to play tonight. Oh, okay. Now, if that were me, he's smart. So yeah, he said it and he put it out there, but he knows if you're scrambling right now at 8:10 to readjust your game plan for tonight because somebody isn't playing, you're probably not doing your job.
Correct.
Right. So he's going to let you do with that information what you will. But that one, Bellevue West Joy, he should be locked and loaded because he is a T-Bird fan through and through.
Now, yesterday, too, DB, was the Big Red Brunch.
Yeah.
Was it the 8th annual, I believe?
It was.
And then guest speakers, T.O. and Trev were there.
Yes, Trevor Alberts.
And one thing Trev said.
He said a lot.
Was that Nebraska has the 5th most expensive ticket in college football, which actually shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, he
when
said
it came
with
to all
licensing
and donations, with all of that taken into account. He said, and that's not right, especially when you're 3-9. Now, I have a list of the top 10 most expensive game day experiences across college football. So this is not like with the licenses and donations, as a part of it, because Nebraska on this list is 10. So I'm looking for 1 through 9. Do you think you could come up with at least 5 out of these 10?
Yes.
Do you think you could come up with 6?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna
listen. I'm a 50%er, man. Like,
but I gave you one. Already with Nebraska.
Yeah.
So that is technically 6. Then is what you're getting with 5. You think you could give me 5 more?
I mean, I'll shoot.
All right, go ahead. Give me what you think or who you think is in the top, or not just top 5, top 10, but 5 of the most expensive game day experiences across college football.
Michigan.
Michigan is not on the list.
Okay. Ohio State.
Ohio State is not on the list. This is according to 24/7 Sports, came out this year.
Okay.
In July.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is 3rd on the list.
Okay. Alabama
is not on the list.
Georgia.
They are 9th on the list.
Bomb, 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 bomb. You know what? How about Florida State?
They are not on the list.
Dang, I think the state school, they get a lot of revenue.
They do get a ton.
LSU?
Nope, not on the list.
Wow, your boy sucks.
It's all right. There's a lot of teams to choose
from. You haven't tried out West yet.
Clemson? I'm getting there. There's 2.
Clemson
there's 2 I'm going to say back to back.
Clemson is 6th on the list.
Okay. Oregon?
Are not on the list.
Really?
How
are these departments generating revenue? No wonder you're broke.
So if I'm going to pull up the article here, let me see if I can get a good
Is Washington on there?
Washington is not on the list.
Man. Hey, can I get a lifeline?
So it says from parking pains to concession prices, fans typically prefer to avoid shelling out extra money after paying for tickets.
I got one.
Okay.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is 1
Yeah.
on the list.
I had to think about it because Oklahoma Tyler.
Uh-huh.
What'd you call him again?
Called him
I've called him it before.
Which one? The first or the second thing?
Meathead.
Oh, I did.
He's
listen,
a meathead. As a matter of fact,
he's got a head like Sautter.
As a matter of fact, when I saw him on the sidelines, I think I said this. What'd I call him? A meathead.
Yeah,
he's
just.
You said you would have never picked him out of the lineup.
I said you put 10 guys in front of me, he'd probably be the last.
You'd never guess that was Oklahoma Tyler. Yeah, I saw him on the sidelines. He was there early. Like, I mean, he's no dummy. Like, he knows how to get to where he needs to be. Give me like 3 others.
Okay, on this list, and I'll say this too: the average ticket cost at Nebraska is $229. What it says. I'm sorry, it's $190 for. The average total cost is what that average was. So it's $190 is your average for 2 tickets to a Nebraska game. But then it factors in like parking is an average of $25. 2 sodas are $8. 2 hot dogs are $6.
Okay.
Think about when alcohol will eventually be able to be sold at Nebraska, if and when, right? That's when Nebraska is going to jump up this list even more. But on this list,
do you know what I'm terrible with? Concession prices. Because do you know what I never do? I never go to the concessions.
Mm-hmm. So you had Oklahoma. That was first on the list. Second was West Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
West Virginia is, and I'm going to scroll down so you can get the average cost. $264 is what you'll probably expect to pay if you and I went to the game.
Unbelievable.
Right? Because that is $20 parking. 2 beers are $18. 2 sodas.
I thought all they did was drink in West Virginia. Why is it so expensive?
Well, that's what they charge everywhere, right?
I can't drink.
Not here.
Well, Neil Brown should be loving life.
Number 3 you got right is Notre Dame.
Okay.
Number 4 is Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
Average cost $242.
Was our comment section screaming Texas to me?
Guess how much parking is?
Oh yeah,
Texas?
Joseph. Look, I just looked at it, and Joseph was
Texas
like, Texas has to be
on
on there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joseph. Where were you 25 seconds ago when I'm struggling like a wayward orphan?
Yep. So guess how much parking is over at Texas?
$60.
$40. 60 would be insane.
Well, I think 20 is.
5 on this list surprised me. Mizzou.
Oh, yeah?
Missouri, which because their stadium isn't anything like to brag about. Like a lot of people sit on the lawn. So it would shock me if they charge a ton of money to sit in.
No Kowalski's over there, Shane. Right? Get off my lawn.
$18 for beers, $10 for soda, $8 for parking.
So 18 is just the thing, right? Is a beer? What is a beer? $9?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. What's at baseball games nowadays? What is it? 13?
Listen again. First of all,
well, it's ideal that you give them a 10 and then you let them keep the 1 for a tip. That's probably why
I'm not buying beer at a concession. First of all, I want to be full. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I'm not even going to say it out loud. That's too much money to not reap any benefits other than just taste.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I mean, how do you catch a buzz from beer?
Quick side note, at a Cardinal game.
Some of these guys out here like pretty easy. I can drink 20.
So when my family normally goes to games, we go an hour early because if you go up into the right field corner, it's the Budweiser Terrace, you get $5 canned beers for an hour before the game. So like you're just like putting away beer because obviously you get 2 beers and that's still cheaper than the cost of 1 beer with the guy coming down with this heavy.
Does Barry tailgate?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. Barry doesn't want to leave the house.
Really?
Oh, he is such a homebody.
Dude, man after my own heart.
Yeah, he would. He's like, let me have a beer on the patio. If I have 2, I'm putting myself in bed at 8. Is my dad.
Okay.
Now, if you give him gin and tonics, whole different story.
Okay, we found the vice.
6th on this list you got right is Clemson. 7 and 8 you missed. 1 is an SEC school. The other is a Pac-12 school. No, try its baby brother.
Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
Boy, they get it in Stark Vegas, though. Mm-hmm. That makes some sense. They lose their minds.
Mississippi State, an average cost of $236. $2 2 beers, only $16. All right, $8 a piece. We're saving some money down there.
I bet their tailgate is spectacular.
Oh, I'm sure every school.
How is USC not in that deal, man? Are you sure?
USC is not, but the other California school is.
UCLA?
To the Big Ten. UCLA. UCLA.
So why is their athletic department budget in shambles?
Couldn't tell you.
They don't have enough fans coming to the game.
Well, probably because they're charging $40 for parking and $24 for 2 beers.
Listen, that is without question the worst stadium to get into and out of that I've ever been to.
UCLA?
Oh, it's an utter nightmare. Utter nightmare. I mean, God bless the Rose Bowl and its nostalgia in Pasadena. That entrance and departure sucks. Colorado is right there, too.
What's the easiest? What stadium have you been to that is easy to get in and out?
Lawrence is pretty easy.
Okay. Well, that shouldn't have an influx of fans.
It looks like it's in a city park. So it's kind of
fair too.
Lots of places to maneuver. I don't know.
Like, what about K-State? When you guys went to K-State to visit?
I'm from Manhattan, and I'm not a bum. K-State is cool.
Okay.
K-State is cool.
What about in the Big Ten? Easiest stadium to get in and out of in the Big Ten?
I'll tell you, a toughie was, or an easy one for the team as we exited was West Lafayette. But you kind of getting there was not fun. Like, I felt we almost, full disclosure, I felt like the radio network, like we were going to start late. Because we didn't leave until I think 2:15 or 2:20, and Jay Terry's like got this thing.
Did you have to be on 4?
4 hours before the game, so I think we were going to start the show at 3, and we were. At least I was. Greg and Jess are probably like, we got this, but I was like, I'm still watching these crazy people play beer pong or whatever that game was that they were playing. Yeah, on Frat Row, like it was slow motion.
I'm shocked you didn't jump in.
No, there wasn't even anybody there that looked like me.
More the merrier, right?
No, man. And it looked at me like,
well aged.
Yes, well aged. Folks start putting their girls, hiding them behind their back and stuff. No, man, I'm
Hey,
good.
Mr. Steal Your Girl. Hey, it's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Stop it. Like, look, man, I'm good.
Stop laughing.
Exactly, Joel. Exactly. I couldn't even figure out the game, and Lord knows we were at the lights, and we have an escort, but it was just so much congestion. Iowa is kind of tough, although I love their setup. Like, it's kind of a pretty entrance in there because you got the baseball field, and then there's this long strip where they tailgate, but it is not easy to maneuver. Not easy to maneuver.
Where
in Iowa
would
City.
Nebraska rank in regards to difficulty?
So now that the other side of the stadium, like towards, well, I can't name the building because have you been on their campus? So the east side where the new facility is going, now that's kind of open,
I'm on the west side.
and you can maneuver over there. It's like opened up. It's better, but I mean, Memorial Stadium's fine.
A lot of entrances.
Yeah, 100.
Tons of way to get in.
100%. But
I remember the first time I went there when I was with all my TV equipment, and I didn't know what entrance to go in because we didn't get an email about it. And this was when I was working in Sioux City, so when we only came to 1 or 2 games, we weren't getting Keith's emails on the regular. And so,
hey, isn't he something,
dude? I walked into every entrance trying to figure it out, and it took me. And I parked, mind you, I didn't bring cash. What was I thinking, right? I mean, you have to have cash everywhere you park down there. Well, maybe not anymore. Maybe.
Were you surprised that Bellevue West was cash only last week?
You had to pay?
No, but I mean, if like,
to get in?
Yeah, because I hear all the people like calling one another. Hey, it's cash only. Hey, like they were like
that does surprise.
Me. I was shocked, especially in like when a lot of people now don't even want to handle money.
Right. Well, especially after the pandemic, people have gone away from like Werner Park. You can just scan your card.
So I told Marty, because a couple times when I went after that where it was cashless, I said, you guys should teach other people how to do this. It was so slick and so clean.
And it was fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like you would think inserting the card, you have to wait for it to process. Like, no, they were
Some tournaments are one or the other too. No cash, like basketball and stuff. And it can be inconvenient. Like Hy-Vee Arena, sometimes when it's cash only.
Inconvenient. Man,
and listen, the cash box next to it is like, I mean, it's like $350 for a transaction. So I'm like, dang, you guys just won.
Sometimes it's more.
So now it's like, well, then I'll leave again and go back to
I'll
go find another 18. If it's more, $350 is extortion. $250, you feel like you got to steal. So I stopped doing that like probably 5-6 years ago. If it's not my bank, I'm trying to keep cash.
If you go to like even like a casino, it's like $6 to pull money out of.
Oh yeah, you can miss me with that. All the way miss me with that. Ain't no way. That's a meal.
Oh yeah.
That's a royal treat. That's a 6-inch royal treat, man.
Speaking of a meal, so I took a little nappy yesterday. I know you're not a nap guy. But
you know how much time I spent at home before 6 o'clock yesterday? About 40 minutes. Yeah. But anyway.
So you're not a nap guy. I get that because I mean you first off have a million things to do in a day, and you also have kids and things. I don't have any of that, so I'm good right now.
Telling you, man, naps. Embrace the hustle.
But I had the headache, so I'm like, I'm gonna take a nap. I ended up sleeping for 3 hours yesterday. 12 to 3.
Yeah, but you slept so poor the night before.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I had a bad headache. I also slept for like 4 hours last night, but I don't know why I feel so rejuvenated. I don't know if it was that nap. I don't know if it's what I had after the nap. Do you ever have a craving when you get up? Like, have you taken a nap before? Like you've had.
Yeah, I've taken a nap.
Life, right?
I've taken a nap.
When you wake up, do you ever feel like, man, I'm just craving this one thing? Because I was craving one thing yesterday, and we were talking about $6 meals. I was craving Taco Bell.
No, that would not be on
because
the list.
I wanted Baja Blast.
The slush thing?
No, not even the slush, just the soda. I wanted a fountain soda of Baja Blast.
Mountain Dew.
That is correct. It is a Mountain Dew.
Who asked you?
You asked what it was.
So I had that, and I got a cheesy roll-up and a Doritos Locos Taco. I put it inside the cheesy roll-up, and that was my little snack.
Man, I got up a couple of nights ago because, I just been eating, like, mostly meat out of a bowl or whatever. It was last night or night before last. I got up and I made a sandwich. It was like 9:45. and I have a loaf of keto bread. Man, does it suck. Like I get it.
The keto diet you get, or
No,
you get the bread?
The bread?
Was it dry? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me.
So
Did it fall apart in your hand?
listen, I felt like I was 6. I cut the crust off. I'm like, I can't.
Pull the Zoe.
Man. And all I did was put like this natural peanut butter on it. Because like I just felt like I needed some sustenance, and yeah, but that bread was like no bueno. Somebody's got some recommendations on keto bread that doesn't take 54 hours to chew. Man.
You know what's funny about that is anything that's healthy takes a crap long to chew. So you go to the store and you buy like candy, and you know how they have those Smart Sweets now, opposed to like the actual like Sour Patch Kids. You can have Sour Patch Smart Sweets. You try chewing one of those things, you'll be there for an hour.
So there's a gas station that I go to that's close to Westside, and two of the things that they market on Shane are end caps, right? The things that are like at the end, obviously, right?
Yeah, they're the end caps.
Do you know what I didn't know that they make? They make gummy sweet tarts. They like have big bags. And I'm like, they got variations. Delish. Where is my girl been, man? You send baby to the corner?
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Well, where's she been?
I don't know where she's been.
Get my nuts. Get my nuts.
Oh, nuts.
She was shopping. Just looking for some almonds or something. Nah, I did not. Like
probably walnuts.
My question is, do you reach a point where you diversified the candy so much it's not what made it originally attractive?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm.
You know, like the multi-flavored Kit Kats and all that. Like,
yeah.
Don't you just do too much?
I will never buy those ever.
I saw sweet tart licorice ropes. Like you're doing too much, aren't you?
Filling it with the whatever goo, whatever filling that is. It's probably just pure sugar.
That's why I'm poor at marketing. I don't understand those things.
All right, let's take a short break. More CNC after the break.
We'll be right back in 5 minutes. We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Welcome back. Coffee and Cream alongside Damon Benning and Drew Rogers. We're happy to have you with us. Take a moment and tell you about the Omaha Storm Chasers. They are back in action this week, or have been back in action this week, I should say, against St. Paul, right? St. Paul? The Saints. St. Paul was formerly in the American Association, and then when... Are they the Twins affiliate?
You ask me these questions as if you're not putting me on the spot. Like
I know, but I'm talking through something. I need your help.
Hey, like
AAA for the Twins.
Listen, that part was the easy. That was the easy answer. I mean, WTH, man.
Hey, when I talk through some things, I need some help, so I bounce things off you.
Listen,
you're just an idea guy, right? That's what you're all about.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this smudge mark is on this
they're
rag,
trying to get back.
And you're asking me like trivia questions. Like
they're back in the win column on the 22nd, but have dropped the last two. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today is Firework Friday. Healthcare Professionals Night is Saturday, and then Sunday, Family Fun Day, is the 27th. They'll be at home again next week against the Louisville Bats, which are the Reds. I know that one for a fact, DB.
Hey, why don't you just ask me like AA and AAA affiliates to see how entertaining that'll be?
Who are the Montgomery Biscuits?
Man,
affiliated?
I got your biscuit. You know, choke on it
what
as
are you
you're
gonna
trying
kick
to
my
swallow it on the way down.
Speaking of biscuits, I made that with my chicken pot pie last night. It was fire.
Again, I just don't know
You're
why
not
that
chicken pot
was
pie
a
guy.
thing at 110 degrees, but
Because
you know,
I'm inside in 68 degrees enjoying my chicken
you got
pot pie.
68?
68.
Not a boy.
Yep. My thermostat actually works, unlike the one at Hurrdat.
Shots fired! Shots fired! No, it's weird too because cleaned my oven the other day like by hand with some easy off and stuff, and it like raised the temp in the house by 2 degrees. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
You were kind of mad.
Nah, it was cool. It went up to 72, and I
It wasn't cool then.
keep
It
it
was
on 70. I just turned like the fan off, but that easy off is the lick. Don't spray it and have it come back in your face, because I read afterwards why you pointed at a 90-degree angle away from you, because I was probably inhaling some toxins. I felt like I was like, my inhaler. I was like, man, if I die in here, it's gonna be a lonely death. It's not
I'm all alone.
Like,
there's no one here.
Nobody bailing me out, man. Yeah. So anyway, I don't recommend that, but That's neither here nor there.
All right, DB, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. And,
Okay, I do you a solid.
Find your way out to the main,
Why?
area. Because Shane and I are about to play some trivia.
Okay.
Are you serious?
We
Shane,
are.
text me because these guys are going to. Now I'm going outside, man. I'm not trying to go in there and shoot the breeze with people,
Squat
man.
these doors right here.
I'm
Prop it open.
making small talk.
I will
Later
see ya.
days.
See ya.
All right. See you tomorrow.
DB's bouncing. He's bouncing out of here. All right, Shane, go ahead and start the music for me. You against DB. One final time.
Wow. Have I done this before?
Are you going?
Are you going? Okay, what do you got for me?
All right, it's college football trivia.
Okay.
Because we are in the college football swing of things.
Okay.
3 questions, 1 tiebreaker. You get the answers. DB does not. Shane, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Which
I'm ready.
college football team has won the most overall conference championships? Is it? Gotta wait for the door to get close. Can't let TV hear the answers. Is it Nebraska, Oklahoma, or Michigan?
I'm going to go with Nebraska.
Shane, question number 2. Which Nebraska wide receiver holds the record for most touchdowns in a single season? Is it Quincy Enunwa, Trey Palmer, or Stanley Morgan Jr.?
I'll go Junior.
And the final question, Shaner. Who was the last college football team to win the national championship before the college football playoff began?
Oh, wow.
Alabama, Florida State, or Ohio State?
Did I get a Hail Mary?
Those are your Hail Mary. You got 3 answer choices. Well, you want a 50-50?
Yeah, like a 50-50.
You want a 50-50, okay. Was it...
And I'll be honest, if you take the one out, I'll tell you if that was the one I was going to choose.
All right, was it Florida State or Ohio State?
Okay, I was going to choose Ohio State.
Okay. And the final question here, Shane, the tiebreaker. How many total points did the winning team score in the 4th quarter of that national championship game?
I will say, what was the year of it?
I think it was 14.
Okay. I will say,
what does the year have to do?
I was buying time. 28.
Thank you, Shane. Let's go get DB. Wherever he is. He wandered off somewhere. Shane, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. How confident do you feel right now? He acted like everybody could hear you. Shane did say he feels confident. I think he stayed inside, Shane. I think he stayed through these double doors here. Although Mike Sautter is rolling up right now. He's ready for high school football. 3 questions. I don't know if they're overly difficult. DB's turn. Come back. He comes through the doors. He's ready. He knew Shane wasn't going to take a lot of time on these. Shaking his head, coming back.
Dude, you got me out there with like, all I can hear is beep, beep. Hey, they're recording, so we got to be quiet. Beep, beep. I don't want to hear any of your BS. They're like just talking reckless to one another out there. I was like, wow, are you guys friends? Or is that how coworkers talk to one another? I mean, they're out there working their rear ends off.
They are. They're getting speakers down. They're moving things around. They're cleaning things up, putting signage up. It looks great.
If Shane wins, I'm leaving.
You ready to go?
Man,
are you going?
Man, I'm serious too.
Where are you going?
I think you're in good shape.
I'm about to be like Dave Matthews. Where are we going? Okay, go.
All right. Question numero uno. Which college football team has won the most overall conference championships?
Really?
That is the question. Would you like me to read it one more time?
Oh, that's pretty difficult.
Which college football team has won the most overall conference championships?
Let's say Notre Dame, except they don't have a conference. The most conference championships?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Want to Hail Mary this early?
Yep.
Was it Nebraska, Oklahoma, or Michigan?
That doesn't help me one iota. Conference championships? Nebraska, Oklahoma, or Michigan? Hey, I'm going with Oklahoma.
DB, question number 2. Which Nebraska wide receiver holds the record for most touchdowns in a single season?
Really?
He stared at me.
This
for
sounds
a
like
long
my.
period
This
of
sounds
time.
like.
And
you doing this.
I used my stupid Hail Mary.
Now you don't get a Hail Mary for this wide receiver.
And a
Just
single
mention
is it
one.
has to be a wide receiver?
Wide receiver, single season. Don't look at me like that.
Swift and Morgan both have 22. Is there somebody above them? I'll take Stanley Morgan.
And
Kenny Bell, I apologize if it's you.
question number 3. Who was the last college football team to win the national championship before the college football playoff began?
When did it begin?
That's exactly what I asked.
Was it?
You were asking, why are you asking the year?
Give Shane the year. You want the year on
Yeah, give me the year.
2014.
that-
Well, began in 15.
Was that when Bama beat Notre Dame? Would they beat them 42-14 or was that 13? I confused the year with the season. You know I'm terrible at that. So the BCS is 2013, 2014. I'll go with was that Zeke Elliott? No. Was it Ohio State? I'll go Ohio State.
And
No, wait, was it Florida State? That might have been Crab Legs dude. Let's go with Florida State.
Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Do you want Florida State? Is that what you're locking
Yeah,
in?
I'm going
You
locking
said
in
like
Florida.
4 teams there. So
I'm like you, man, going through AA affiliates.
How many total points? Here's the tiebreaker. How many total points did the winning team score in the fourth quarter of that national championship game?
9.
9 points. Let's go through the answers. Question number 1. Which college football team won the most overall conference championships? Shane said Nebraska. DB said Oklahoma. The answer is Oklahoma.
It's over.
Which Nebraska wide receiver holds the record for most touchdowns in a single season? You both said Stanley Morgan. I got Quincy Enunwa.
Mm.
Check your facts.
I'll fact check that.
Check your facts, fool.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
my man Ben Gray.
the final question here, which college football team won the Natty before the playoff began? Shane said Ohio State. You said Florida State. It was Florida State.
Let's go.
So he wins 2-0. The tiebreaker question was 21, just for everybody out there.
Well, I ain't getting beat by little people.
Brian Edwards up next.
Hey now.
We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio. Now, Vegas insider, senior handicapper, and fan of the cold Budweiser bottles, Brian Edwards.
It's got to be touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
Brian Edwards.
I don't really love it.
Brian Edwards.
Were they using the cream cheese to butter the bagel?
Brian Edwards.
I'm going with the cowgirl.
Here is Brian Edwards.
All right, it's that time. Let's get our sports betting fix in with Brian Edwards. He joins the show now, MajorWager.com, BrianEdwardsSports.com, at Vegas B. Edwards on Twitter. B, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I did not like reliving Crab Legs' comeback against Auburn on that trivia question just now. Auburn should have been ahead by 4 touchdowns at halftime that night. They left so many points out there in the first half.
That they did.
It took me a while to get to Public Sky, but I finally landed the plane, B. Finally landed the plane.
You thought it through, and you got there.
I almost went with Bama, hammering.
That was the year before, Notre Dame, 2012.
Yeah. 42-14 or something like that.
You were all over it. You had the before and after year. The after year was Zeke Elliott.
I just remember
he needed the year.
I just remember the bowling ball just rumbling through guys. I'm like, they're not tackling him at any point tonight.
Right.
What do we got, B? We missed you yesterday. Like, were you vacationing or?
No, my apologies. Just straight up overslept.
You're too old for that. What are you, 12?
Straight up overslept. No BS excuses. Just
So
the truth.
Shane's like talking to you 10 minutes after that, and I was like, why are you guys having your own conversation and he's not on in his segment? Like, I thought it was going to be something fancier than you overslept.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, my Lord.
He was knee deep in betting lines, and he was trying to get us the best plays.
Well, like 8 years ago, we lost him and we were panicking. he finally resurfaced, sobered up. It's like, must have been some wedding.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that 8 years ago, that was a hangover. No, yesterday. Now, I will give you my lame excuse. I was on VEASAN at 11 p.m. the night before, and I got off the radio at like 11:30, but that's just explaining why I was up so late.
Hey, I'm not hearing any accountability. I'm only hearing the excuse.
Oh,
you got
shoot.
a great accountability off the rip there, B. We gave you a lot of respect for it, and now I'm just hearing excuse after excuse.
B, I got to get right to it because I've kind of previewed this game as one that's flying under the radar, and it will be pivotal if this over hits for your Lane Kiffin Ole Miss Rebels. They're going on the road to Tulane, and Tulane is a good football team. That could be a swing game, and what would be a 7.5 win total.
Yeah, I initially marked it a swing game. I initially marked Ole Miss 6-2 with 4 swing games, and at Tulane was definitely one of them. But I do think they're going to get that win, but it will not be easy. Michael Pratt, Willie Fritz, those guys will be ready. This is not really that much of a factor, but Ole Miss will have a lot of fans there. New Orleans is only like 45 minutes from the southwest corner of Mississippi, so But the main reason multiple quarterbacks, you get a quarterback injured, you're okay. You got Spencer Sanders and Jackson Dart, and you even got 4-star Walker Howard, who also transferred from LSU. But so I've got them losing at Bama and at Georgia. They're a 4.5-point home dog to LSU. I have them losing that one as well. But I have them 8-3 going into the Egg Bowl, and all we got to do is get to 8. And they got to 8 for us last year in the A&M game, which was either the last Saturday of October or the first Saturday in November. It's a good thing because they lost the next 3. 2 of them one-possession games. But, yeah, over 7.5 with Ole Miss.
B, I think I read this the other day that Vandy is 0-6 at home since 2021 against non-con opponents in their first game of the year. So Hawaii was an interesting play in my mind, plus 17.5, but they're going to be so bad this year.
And Vandy might be
and
better
Vandy
than people
may
think.
be better, right? So you like the over, and I'm kind of with you there. The over seems safer than taking one of the two on the spread.
Yeah, we got 2 bad defenses. I mean, Vandy's defense gave up 36 points per game last year. Hawaii's gave up 34.7. Vandy had 10 of 12 games get to at least 55 combined points. Now, I'm in it over. I got it at over 54 like a month ago, but I like it all the way to 56, which is obviously a key number, being a multiple of 7. AJ Swan, solid true freshman year, 10-2 TDI-INT ratio. He's got a legit all SEC player in Will Shepard, who had 60 catches, 776
100%.
yards, 9 touchdowns last year. And it doesn't hurt that their starting defensive tackle, Christian James, 6.5 tackles for loss last year. He's out with a foot injury, and another starter on defensive end is questionable. So that doesn't hurt our cause, but yeah, over 56. And if it's 56.5, by the half point to that key number of 56 is a multiple 7.
Andrew asked me, I think this was before the show started, off air. He's like, Navy got him last year with a big number. They're getting another one. I simply said to him, at some point they'll have to slow Notre Dame down. If Hartman's any good, will they get enough stops? But 21 is a big number in an opener.
It really is. And even though they went 4-8 last year, they only lost by more than 21 once, and they've only lost by more than 21 3 times in their last 31 games. Navy went 6-0 against the spread as a double-digit underdog last year. They're 11-2 ATS last 13 as a double-digit dog. And if the line was 21 in each of the last 21 head-to-head meetings between these teams, Navy would be 14-6-1 against the spread. I think Hartman's a major upgrade at quarterback. I think Notre Dame will be better, and I think they win, but I think they win by 14-17 on Saturday.
B, the last one that you have for the weekend, at least this weekend, is New Mexico State -7. What do you like about them?
So New Mexico State only won 2 games in 2021, but they hired Jerry Kill, the former Minnesota head coach, and they had a 5-game jump. They finished 7-6 straight up, 8-5 against the spread last year. They won 6 of their last 7 games. They won 5 of those by double-digit margins, including a 49-14 win at Liberty as a 24.5-point road underdog. They've got Diego Pavia back, the quarterback. He had a 13-2 TDI-INT ratio in their last 6 games, and UMass went 1-11 straight up last year. Only outright win over Stony Brook FCS team. They lost by double digits 9 times. They lost by 17 or more 8 times, and they've lost to New Mexico State by double digits each of the last 2 years. So give me New Mexico State laying the 7.
Let's take a look at another total. This team is kind of a lot of consternation here in Husker country. What do you like about or don't like about Wisconsin? That number, the win total, seems pretty big.
It does, but the schedule really works. No Michigan, no Penn State. You get Ohio State at home. You look at the road games. At Indiana, you'll be favored. At Illinois, won't be easy. That's what I got to mark 9-0 with 3 swing games. 3 swing games being Ohio State, at Illinois, and at Minnesota. But look, I know going out west is tricky in week 2, and Washington State has a quality quarterback, but they've got the revenge angle. I think they'll take care of business there. They got 10 starters back on offense, 8 on defense. I think they got a major upgrade at head coach with Luke Fickell. You got both your stud running backs, especially Braylon Allen. You got your top 3 pass catchers back, your top 3 tacklers back. I just think Wisconsin is going to have a big year. They hit the portal nicely, 14 transfers, ranked 24th transfer-specific class. Yeah, I think they win at least 9, and I'd say they probably win 10 and win the West.
LSU, too, has kind of a daunting schedule. Just Florida State to kick things off, and then, you mix in Ole Miss, Alabama later on in the year. Texas A&M will feed its way in. They start the year ranked. There's a Florida mixed in. Who knows how Mizzou will be this year. 10 wins, though, from this team, and you like it because it's 9.5 opposed to 10.5, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I like it over 9.5. I even got a taste of 16-1 to win the CFP, but that number's long gone. I think they take care of FSU. At Ole Miss will be a tricky one. They are a 4.5-point favorite there. Won't be easy in Starkville. You mentioned Missouri. They're going to have a good defense. I just don't know about their offense. But I think at Bama's going to be winnable. I think they're going to win their last 3 at home. I like this team a lot. They hit the portal hard. Got the number 2 transfer specific class, 14 transfers, 1 5-star, 8 4-stars. I love Omar Spates, the linebacker, led Oregon State in tackles last year. I think that Harold Perkins is an absolute superstar. I think you got 2 quarterbacks you can win with, and Daniels and Nussmeier. You added Logan Diggs, the Notre Dame running back, to the running back room, and you had all your top runners back anyway. Mekhi Wingo, 3rd-team All-American last year. Malik Neighbors, legit All-American candidate. So is Mason Taylor at tight end. I like LSU over the 9.5.
Let me ask you one. I'm not sure how much thought you've given it, but I brought them up yesterday in the Big Ten, and Nebraska's got them in the last third of the season, and I think it's one of those tough games. Have you looked at Maryland at all? They got a favorable schedule early.
I got them marked 5-3 with 4 swing games. The total 7.5 at last look. The 4 swing games: Illinois at home, at Nebraska, at Rutgers. They should win at Rutgers, and at Sparty. They could win. They could win all those. I don't know that they win at Nebraska. So I think they get to at least 7. But
Gonna be right around the number you think?
Yeah, 7 or 8. I would think.
It's about where they are every year.
Yeah, appreciate it, B.
All right, gentlemen, y'all have a great weekend.
You too. Mike Sautter up next.
We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Mike Sautter.
I would agree, Damon.
Mike Sautter.
Yeah.
Mike Sautter.
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot.
Mike Sautter.
It's that time again where we welcome in our friend, Mike Sautter, because he's here to be a friend today, right, Mike?
Ew.
Mad at me?
Yeah. Because I pull into the parking lot and all I hear is, and Damon, you're going to go in the hallway for the last time we're doing trivia together. And I was like, wait, what? I thought that was my thing. I wanted my redemption from last week. I wanted my redemption from last week.
Did you see Shane try to open the door for me? Yeah, the struggle was real.
But I had the front door unlocked for all you guys.
And then the electrician guy goes, "Hey, sir, you can go in over here." I go,
hey,
I know.
Those dudes talk to each other so they got to be boys who work together all the time because they're just out there.
Oh, no, they spend a lot of time together.
Oh, you're famous, Damon.
Just killing one another. Why?
Damon, you're famous.
Why you say that?
Especially with those guys.
Oh,
yeah. When I walked in.
Hey, did you see my man with the dope?
That guy definitely played tennis.
Did you see that? Did you see my guy with the dope man's on out there?
No.
Yeah, he's got on the old Nike Cortez.
The dude goes, "Hey, that's Damon Benning, former Husker."
Yeah, okay, whatever.
And I was like,
did he add an Orange Bowl MVP and everything?
Or 1995 Orange Bowl MVP, Damon Benning.
So are you working your way on not coming back, or what are we doing? What
we were talking about getting something kicked out of you. Maybe that's what he's doing.
I still don't know what that looks like. Like,
ask my dog.
Shane,
have
you ever fallen or hurt yourself so much where you like you lose bodily functions?
No.
You lose some fluids.
Okay. And I know it's kind of a term.
Why? Who did that?
You get the blank kicked out of you, and it's like, how does that happen?
Felt like it happened to Miller North last night.
Really?
All right, well,
it wasn't even it was bad, but it wasn't.
The second half was.
Yeah, I was telling this to Drew Down. It's just something about the way Coach Williams formations and uses motion, and Miller North plays so much man to man. Like, at some point, that bow was going to break.
Yeah, and I will say this: in the first half, I forget who I told this to.
Probably yourself, and then
maybe myself or Jacob or somebody. But I said, man, they really got to just misdirection would totally work right here.
Yeah.
And then they bust the big screen pass because of misdirection. Like there was a couple.
I've seen that screen throwback in my sleep.
Yeah.
They got us with it twice 2 years ago.
Yeah, they. I will say this: Tim Williams is actually a pretty good football coach and doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah,
I feel I've been to multiple practices.
I feel like we say this a lot, so apparently he gets some credit, but generally,
I'm saying general public. Right?
Generally speaking, I think you're right.
Yeah, does a good job. Weight room does a good job with that. All that stuff.
I just think I told this to somebody on group text last night. I think it was group text.
It wasn't me.
Nope. It was DM on Twitter because we were talking about Papio, and I just think when it comes to offensive minds, like concepts, He's one of the better guys in the state. He knows how to get guys in good position, and then his offensive line responded for him last night. I feel like they wore Millard North down.
Yeah, how impactful were they in regards to helping just move the football down the field?
I think pretty well.
And they were patient with it too, because it wasn't always
working.
It wasn't always breaking.
And was it noticeable? Like when you were watching it, like was it like, man, the O-line's really doing work to help move this thing?
No, I don't think so. I thought they
agree.
So they were quietly impactful then?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about saying that.
Prestito, like, he wears on you too.
So good.
He wears on you. And I was a little surprised how they did it without the vertical passing game.
There was none of that. It was quick screen, quick pass stuff. Now, I will say the play call to go for it on fourth and get the Ingerson touchdown, that was pretty good. They set that up pretty well. They ran that same play how about in the first half when they went for it on 4th and 12? Yeah, that was
4th and 12.
That shows you that
it was like on their 42-yard line.
You don't believe in the opponent's offense if you're doing that.
I just wonder why, like, just the quick screen, like, just let Pierce and Vermas touch it on the perimeter a couple times.
They should. Those two for sure. This is my opinion, and I can have it, I guess. But those two need to touch the ball a lot more than everybody else.
Well, I do like a couple of their skills. They got good skill guys.
Haynes is good.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah, he's twitchy too.
But Vermas is their fastest guy. If he runs a 4.5 or whatever it is, high 4.4s is what the. I don't know about that.
I mean, whatever. He's just no.
I don't know if that's like. I don't know if that's. I would love to see a lasered on that one, but if he's their fastest guy, get him the ball, right? So it's okay. It's
now you were at Millard North's practice last Saturday,
yeah.
right? So you had like the before the game,
yeah.
Right? So what'd you gather there that they want to accomplish this season, but just didn't go right in week 1 for them?
There up front was my question, my biggest kind of question for them. It's particularly just offensive, defensive line, like the middle isn't great. And that I think showed a little bit last night. I will say this: a guy that popped one when I went to their practice, the very first one feels like a year ago, but Papilion's midnight practice thing was Logan Holtmeyer. And Logan Holtmeyer last night, he's just a sophomore, and he showed up big time, I thought, last night for Papio. But to answer your question, Miller North, I thought I really like their linebackers. They're tough kids. Obviously, I love Pierce Mooberry. I think he is really good.
You're 100% not alone.
And I think he is Millard North's best prospect on their football team. That's just I think Pierce Mooberry is Millard North's best
We're friends,
prospect.
so I can say this out loud. I feel like I have to keep you in check because I don't know if you convince yourself that you're the only one.
I'm
right?
not saying
there's lots and lots of guys.
I wasn't saying
and
that.
It's not me. I'm just saying there's lots of it's not that's not a secret. Do you know what I mean?
No,
he's really good.
I know. I wasn't saying that I was that I discovered him or anything. I wasn't saying that.
Let's not go to 10. There's 4s and 5s in between.
But you kind of
0. Well, because you're defensive, and I know if I want to get you riled up, I can. But
I can defend myself.
100%. 100%.
But I didn't say that I was. Oh man, I discovered this guy. I didn't say that.
That's a reach, right? Is there anything remotely
this match going on right now? I
didn't say that though. Come on.
That's why I said the guys out here.
Come on, I'm not doing you any favors. You're the king of the self-pity party thing.
I'm not trying to be.
So sometimes I feel like we got to just keep it moving, right?
Next.
Yeah, we just got to keep it moving.
Right,
I didn't say that.
Let's talk about Friday.
I wasn't implying that I was, saw this kid and he made my 7th grade super state team. Sorry, I wasn't. I didn't say that.
You want to talk about Friday now? Let's talk about today. Can we talk about today?
Every week you find a way to weave that in. Would you stop? Just leave him alone. Just leave him alone.
So dumb.
But Mike.
All right, Mike. Lincoln Southeast, Elkhorn South. Mike.
I can keep going on this if you want.
Michael Sautter.
Stop it.
Michael. Undue pressure.
The 4 o'clock
Oh
game.
my God.
Okay, 4 o'clock game. All right,
4
let's
o'clock
go.
game. Southeast South, right?
Southeast Elkhorn South. Yes.
Right? Yep.
What about it?
Two
It
ranked
might not even
opponents.
get played at 4, honestly.
All right,
Like,
let's just.
You think it's too hot?
It might be. That wet bulb is a real thing, man.
Okay, so
Takes into everything into consideration, like wind, obviously turf heat, temperature outside, dew points. all
what's the
that.
high? 91-ish?
That's what it
94,
said today, but
Is it 4? Oh, and it is in Lincoln. Which
I'd like
No,
to
it's here.
No, it's here.
Oh,
Elkhorn
yeah, it's
South.
okay.
But if it's
okay.
on the track and in the sun, it depends on where they.
Yeah, I wonder what the
place-
feels like temperature is out there.
Where they place the wet bulb is a key factor.
At least the field's kind of sunken.
I know, and you can if you do it on the west side, the shade probably will help a little bit.
Oh yeah, it did go up to 94.
Hey,
It feels like
listen.
90 already right now. That's the feels like.
What happens if
I don't
these
know,
4
but
o'clock game? Like
That would be a miserable feeling, right? To not know.
you have like the 4 o'clock. You're like it's no guarantee for sure, and you delay it till when? You can't.
Are they up against it because they're the first of a doubleheader?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the second one there?
Elkhorn Waverly or Waverly at Elkhorn. So like what happened? What do? You got to play it tomorrow in the morning or something.
Yeah.
That could work.
We played a couple of Saturday
Hey, that
morning
would
games.
stink.
Can you move
That'd
it?
be
We had a
okay.
continuation of a Saturday morning.
Yeah, but that's
game.
different,
That's really sucky.
Yeah.
Can you move it to an open field somewhere else? Like
There
what-
not any. Where?
Okay, but this may be a dumb question. Do all the Lincoln schools play at the same field?
Yeah, Seacrest.
Okay.
But or Beechner or the new UBT one.
So really, he means the
There's
answer to that is
3.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah,
could
they
you
would.
move it to Lincoln then?
No. Home game, gate, all that. Nope. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
If I was a school district, I'd be like, heck no, we ain't doing that.
And, yeah, you want that revenue.
Yeah, no way.
So you're in Columbus tonight. That was your game of the week?
Yep.
What time are you leaving?
I don't know, 4 or something.
How many votes did you say?
There was a lot. There was for the 4 games in the game of the week. It's the most I've ever had. There was over 222,000 votes.
And how many different IP addresses?
Over 19,000.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
It's a lot.
Carry the 2.
Every time I put Ashland Greenwood in, they vote.
Well, I watched you
every
watching it. Was that yesterday?
Wednesday, yeah.
On your laptop, and the thing just kept moving and moving.
I was
and
like,
moving
Are you
and
guys going?
moving and moving.
The second place game was Scott Bennington, which I think is also a good
That's
game.
gonna
There's
be a
a
good
lot of good games.
That's what I was saying. I was talking to Ruru, and I was like, "Listen, man, it's not just Class A. There's a lot of good
Another
games."
sneaky maybe one is Central City at Ord is one that could maybe we'll see.
Yeah, no Zickman.
Like-
He's not playing
Oh,
as a
he's not?
senior.
Oh, he's not.
No, golfing and hoops.
Didn't know that.
Oh,
wow.
so
that's a
Central
big
City
deal.
will look a little different.
Okay, maybe it's not that sneaky. I don't know.
I mean, Parker will play his little brother.
Yeah, but Ord's really good though too. C2.
The Chance.
Yeah. Oakland Craig goes to Norfolk Catholic. That's a big one.
I'd like to see TJ Brands in person one more time before.
I was gonna go to their practice last Thursday, but he is dealing with an ankle, and Coach Anderson said it's probably not. If you want to come, you're probably gonna want to see him full go, and if you're just coming for a practice, I said, well, yeah, and then. Okay, I'll pivot to something else.
If we take Papillion out of it, because we've talked about them as the dark horse.
They're definitely the dark horse right now.
Could
Not anymore.
Could I convince you that maybe Millard West is in that picture?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the
I could
top,
be
they're
convinced.
right outside of the top 10. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see tonight. That's a huge game. Oof,
Yeah, how many people are going to be at that game?
like 6,000. That's part of the reason why they couldn't move last night's game to 4 o'clock today because.
I mean, Peterson's got another year, dual threat.
Yeah.
You got Williams.
Who else they got?
I just don't know I just don't know about them up front. And I know
Millard
Millard South
defense is-
very well up front.
Millard South's defense is up. Their front four is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're way good. It's just a matter of okay, big game, sophomore quarterback.
It's ridiculous.
what is that going to look like, right? Like, do you have a low nerves or not? Or, that Feller kid, he's pretty good.
I'm sure jitters will be there. I mean, jitters are always there in the first game, no matter who you are,
what age. Remember that Feller guy? He's probably going to have a big night.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to have to for especially the first,
steady the tide.
Yeah.
I've known him since that is one of my best friend's nephews, and I've known him his whole life.
Him and Prestito, we talked about running backs feels like a month ago, probably was.
Because Sebastian Boyle is the only
guy,
returner of this class that had those monster yards,
and at Scottsbluff, and so Prestito, Feller, Ross, that senior group, it's probably some of those guys.
Hard to believe Jamez is playing 17 pounds less than a year ago.
Hard to believe those guys are seniors.
I can't wait to see him in person.
Mez?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to that? Are you going?
Mm-hmm.
He's ridiculous.
Oh, wow. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people there.
I'm going to go to that one. If South is playing, I'm going to go to that one.
South.
Elkhorn South, sorry.
Can't say that. It's Elkhorn South. Omaha South is South.
Sorry.
He's in the bee in the Hornets nest.
I know.
It's Friday's game. At least he didn't have his hood on this time. Dude means business.
It's like saying north. And when I say north and you live in Omaha, it's Omaha North, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So make sure.
Look, that's fine, big guy. That's fine.
Like if I say south, you say. If I say south,
if I say south, you say north. South, north.
Listen,
I'm gonna punch his kid.
What's he doing? He's just edgy. Okay. So
you want to go? Where are we going?
Hey, Huffman was.
All the
there's room now.
The tables are out of here.
Room now.
I'm ready. My knee is not 100%.
You're going back to being Jerome.
All right.
Jerome, chill out.
I heard you bring up push-ups with no block, no rock the other day, and you called out Shane.
Shane.
Remember the push-up day?
No, they asked me who.
He did 24 and a half, by the way, or 24th and 3/4. Yeah, because he was right before 25.
He didn't do as many as me. It doesn't matter. He lost.
Well, it was kind of my bad because it was really where I made the mistake was I did like 4 or 5 to begin with back here, just do warm-ups.
Sure.
That was my mistake right there. So I really did like 33.
Hey, they asked me, and no block, no rock. It's a great podcast. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was
they
like
try to get
2
you
hours.
drunk because they do that.
I had 2 drinks. I had 2 drinks. It was in a brewery. And
you guys are freaking nuts.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I had 3 cups next to me.
Thank the Lord I had some discipline. I was like,
I did. I felt like I did fine. There was some cursing though. I asked beforehand, but anyway, they did ask me a question.
If there was anything with beer, it would have been tempting. But I just watched these guys one, did another, and I'm like, you guys are
They put them away.
They asked me, and I don't know who put them up to this, but of the Hurrdat Sports people.
Oh, that's what I said to ask him.
Yeah, I did, and I answered the question.
I said of the Hurrdat Sports people, who would Mike Sautter beat in a fight? Because he's all about fighting and he's all about
fighting challenges.
He would lose to Marissa, or he'd only beat Marissa.
That'd be about it.
So he's losing to Anna Bellinghausen and Avery and all them.
100%.
All right, Mike Sautter put him second on the list.
He worships the ground Avery walks on. He's not. He let Avery win on GP.
I don't know. The side eye right now.
He's mean-spirited this morning. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something.
He said the only person he'd lose to is me.
So, Coach
I said the only person I'd lose to is you. And that's because of weight.
So, Coach Huffman.
Not this. It's because you're heavier than
this dude.
Here we go. Oh, man. So you going to South tonight?
I ranked myself second.
Of course you did.
They agreed.
Okay, I'm with you.
No, they nodded their head because they didn't want to fight you.
Can I get to? I just want to get to some games, right? I feel like they're like brothers sitting around the dinner table before we got to eat, man. We're just okay. Jerome Sautter, Coach Huffman says Green gets to start tonight outside at wideout with no McMorris going.
Oh, he's not going?
No.
Why, he's hurt?
Yeah. And
that game is super intriguing, by the way. Omaha North Bellevue West. I am
can North's cornerbacks hold up?
I don't know. Green is good. He's fast, boy. He is good. He's a good player.
So
that straight line guy, he's going to be okay. How about this? Let me not say he's going to be good. He's a sophomore. He's not quite there yet.
So that's the
he's
thing,
going
right?
to be good.
Like if you play good defense, you need more than to just be fast. Being fast is really good, But
I'm talking about green.
No, I
okay. Sorry.
So, but in that offense, like, do you see a lot of go routes? Like, they're so.
Well, they are supposed to open it up,
and it's very precise. Right. So, like, that will be the next
North this year is supposed to open it up until they don't in October in cold games and stuff, when they'll just rely on their running it. They're so big up front. I don't know how good they are up front, but they're huge on both sides. They're the biggest of anybody up front.
So decided advantage because Bellevue West has a game under their belt?
Well, I don't know. I mean, no one got any film from anybody. So
here we go. I didn't know. So Huffman was cool. Like, he was an open book.
No, said they agreed.
I didn't know you get the director of NSAA involved over film exchange.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, Newhouse issued a statement. And
that they could do whatever they want.
Well, he said they need to figure out week 0 because Huffman said he clapped back and was like, "Look, well, how are you handling week 0?" Like,
yeah,
that wasn't in the discussions.
They agree, I guess. Right? Am I right on the film thing? The prep or Coach Yonk and Coach Huffman agreed. Hey, we're not going to share film because we play week 0 and we're the only game. And
yeah,
is that what happened?
Which, of course, I mean, coaches that aren't playing are like, well, you get the week 0 game and you don't share film. That's not cool either. There
was some. It got heated, huh?
Like, woo. Yeah, like, why does this keep happening?
I was like, who the
doors?
And he didn't close the door.
Hey,
listen. I'm this close.
Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you, I'm leaving.
You're blowing it. You're blowing the
listen, I will quit. I'm going to question my job security. I'm already pissed about multiple things. Like, your boy will bounce, right?
I
Hey,
didn't do it.
Stop doing that.
Well, yeah, I was like, if we were on, what was the show called? Because this is your last day together.
No, it's
no. I got a question. Because this is, I want to reminisce a little bit.
You know how I get.
What was the post show thing called?
Where Pete Rock and
Morning Dump.
Smooth.
The dump.
Morning
that was awesome. If we were on the morning dump and that happened, I would have been like, "What the are you doing?
What are we doing?"
Our boss is here too. And
it is funny though because
get
throughout the entire throughout the entire show, they'll just come in, peek their head in, and then close the door, and then peek their head, and then they'll walk in sometimes. And you would laugh.
There's nothing in here.
You would laugh at the amount of times
we haven't
come in and go, "Are you guys on? Are you guys on the air?" As we're just sitting there,
we haven't gone anywhere. Like what? Like. He's doing it out of spite.
It'll be done this week.
For those at home that can't see, we're talking about those that are working on the other side of
here,
the
I'll show you. It's this door right here. This sliding door right there that people just
Can I get in a couple more?
Okay, yeah, football.
Let's get them in.
The morning dump with that would have been awesome.
So you've seen do we have anybody else? Is Kearney, you think, the next team that you want to
right?
Yeah.
Sneaky. I would love. I need to see them. Like,
it seems like their personnel is good.
He's such a good coach, man. So good.
Am I missing anybody?
Grand Island, maybe, if they're fully healthy all the time.
Yeah. How about our schedule?
I was looking at that the other day. It was tough. I looked at Millard North, Prep, Millard North. You guys, I think, have a really tough. Millard South, obviously, I think has a tough schedule too. But Prep, Millard North, and you guys, I think, are Millard North. Hey, Prep and Millard North.
Millard North was a week 9 loss away from having us have 8 of 9 of our opponents,
and they would have made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was at that game, and they got smacked that night. Lincoln Southeast, right? It was in Lincoln.
So you're not double dipping tonight? It's C-Bus.
I can't. I can't. I would love to, but originally I was like, okay, if the Thursday night game wins my game of the week, then I'll go on Friday.
And he manages the place like he should know.
Then I'll go. Then I'll go to. I actually want to go Bellevue West. Omaha North is my kind of game that I think is.
You come back from break and I'll be gone.
Zach McClay though. What are you gonna do with that guy,
man? No free passes.
We got to figure him out.
He's good.
He's Division 1 guy. We got to figure him out.
Okay, well, good talk, guys.
When you say D1, low D1,
do you want me to stay here?
He's a D1 guy.
D1 guy, just all together.
You better. Yeah, you need to stay. Because stay.
For after. The
I mean, you just never know with me, and it's that day. So
I might have to fill in.
I can be unpredictable. Like, dude, my skin is crawling right now.
All right.
Trying to be
Someone in the
professional.
door.
Let's take a short break. We're talking a little bit of whiskey when we come back.
We'll be right back in 5 minutes. We'll be right back in 4 minutes. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. We'll be right back in 1 minute. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio.
All right, welcome back, Coffee and Cream, alongside Damon Benning, Andrew Rogers in the 9 o'clock hour, which means you can catch us on KFOR in Lincoln currently. We are also 590 ESPN Radio here in Omaha, live on Twitter, live on YouTube, the Hurrdat Sports YouTube page. You can get involved on the show, the Warhorse Casino phone line, 888-638-4876, or send us a comment on YouTube. We will see it there. Let's connect with one of our great sponsors of the show, one of our great partners, some board members with Omaha Whiskey Fest here
heavy
in
hitters.
Town. I was hoping to have a heavy hitter at some point today. It just isn't right now.
It would have helped my temperament.
Calm things down, get the warmth going through the body.
Calm down.
We have Lori, we have Jeff, two board members. Good morning.
Morning. Thanks for having us.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's I think it's National Whiskey Sour Day. Did you guys know that?
We were told that.
Yeah. So what I could use right now is tequila. No, I'm just kidding. Whiskey sour.
Yeah. You can make a tequila sour.
Yeah.
Those are good too.
Yeah.
It's called a margarita.
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while, right?
Well played.
Jeff, this is your first time with us.
It is.
I'm ignoring them because they're snarky.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm going back to you.
Yeah, we're here.
Just got out of the days.
Yeah.
John,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah. And Lori, gosh, it's been a month now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anything changed in a matter of a month?
Well, Omaha Whiskey Fest tickets are flying out the door. So that's kind of why we're here, that we still have tickets available, but we're getting close. We're, 7 weeks away, 6 weeks away, something like that. So, we're here just to talk about Omaha Whiskey Fest and make sure people get their tickets in time.
What about VIP?
So VIP is sold out.
Wow.
Yeah, VIP is sold out.
So there were only a couple of spots left last time.
Mhm.
That's right.
You thought you could maybe hold them to dangle, just no go?
No.
That's a typical trajectory. The VIP tickets fly, and then we have to get on here and grind it out for the GA.
So this was like True Serum Friday, because everybody so far people are just like, wow, did they really say that? Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, we will sell out. We have the previous 2 years of Omaha Whiskey Fest, so it's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet.
What makes it? We talked about the versatility. We talked about range, which is almost the same thing. But why here? Why the Whiskey Fest, where you've had so much success?
Well, so we started Whiskey Fest because those of us that are in the whiskey industry, we talk to each other, and we felt like Nebraska wasn't enough on the map as a whiskey market, and there were brands that were overlooking us. So what we noticed is in some of the major markets, they do these big whiskey festivals and really help these brands get their name out to a big audience. So 6 of us got together and said, let's do that. So we put on the Whiskey Festival for that reason, but whiskey's just so popular that and all of us are like, when is this bubble going to burst on the popularity of whiskey? And it's not happening. So every year that we've done this, we've had a bigger and bigger crowd, and we're opening up the doors to even more people this year. So I think it's just everybody loves whiskey.
I'm dying to know, because I use candy as the reference, right? It's like you can get gummy sweet tarts, and there's all these these crazy flavored Kit Kats, right? Where you're used to a traditional taste. How has whiskey been able, as such it's kind of like a pure brand, but its flavors have changed and everybody continues to consume it. How have you not gotten away from its original, I guess, form
Well, that's the thing.
To now it's morphed into this variety.
There is no original, though. You think about it. There's Scotch, there's Canadian, there's bourbon, there's all different. That's what I always say. Like when people say I don't like whiskey, I'm like, that's like saying I don't like food. There's so many different flavors.
You tell them, Lori.
Something you're gonna like.
Because I'm one of those people that
she had a look on her face like she was like,
you need it to survive.
Hey, what are you talking about?
It's such a broad category, and there's so much diversity within it. When you think about just the proof as one example, I mean, you'll go down, you'll see things that are 40% alcohol, 80 proof, all the way up to what, 140
proof.
Yeah. So I mean, you can just get some stuff that's literally.
I don't have enough hair on my chest.
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah. That's a grown man whiskey right there. I don't like it either. I tend to be more on the lower proof side, but that's what's cool about coming to an event like Whiskey Fest, especially if you're a novice to whiskey. You really can do that exploration and figure out what suits you.
So I'm a novice, right? I'm one of the people that say I'm not a huge whiskey fan. I mean, I like it mixed in with other things. Like you mix it with soda. You mix anything with soda, I'll practically drink it. But in regards to like drinking it straight, okay, like how does one really acquire the taste, or like can you over time? Like, will my taste buds ever change so that I can finally drink a glass of whiskey like the rest of my family members when we have a little poker night, and instead of me drinking like the Shirley Temple to my left?
So I think Jeff touched on it. The key is like go to an event like Omaha Whiskey Fest, because you can try so many different things and key in on what do I actually like. Do I like peated? Do I like more sweet? Do I like flavored? Like, what do I actually like? And then to his point, I think starting at 130 proof is not the place to start, and put it on ice, drink it how you like it, or drink it with a little bit of soda and then back off on the soda over time. I mean, if you're trying to actually like it, you're going to like ease into drinking it neat. Nobody starts out like,
I'm like ding dong 101 here. Cause, and I would know this with like varying other alcohols, but how does proof change the taste? I know that's like I should probably know that, but I don't.
So it's the amount of alcohol in the spirit, and it's going to make it hot. It's going to make it burn more. So that like burn that you get on your
like
mouth,
the regular stuff you clean cuts with that. Like
totally, yeah. It's a mouthfeel thing, really. It just whiskey reviews tend to refer to it as heat, and the higher the proof, generally speaking, the hotter it's going to feel on your tongue.
Is that tempered by whether something is chilled or not? Or
not
is it
technically, but it's gonna make it
same
softer
burn
on your palate.
Yeah, that water's gonna melt that in the ice, and it's gonna dilute a little bit. So I would say yes. If you wanted to start drinking whiskey straight, my advice would be lower proof with an ice cube and let that ice melt a little bit. Get that temperature a little cooler.
I'm just such a flavor guy too.
Yeah. My buddy jokes with me that whiskey is why they birth those cool round ice cubes.
It's true.
Is that true?
It's true,
dude. People are
my
serious
mom
about the ice
freezer
cube.
makes those.
Yeah,
I'm totally that guy. 100%.
And you're supposed to use distilled water to make them clear. So if you use tap water,
I'm like, I want a freezer that makes those ice cubes.
So I have a tray in my freezer that makes like a big blocks or the round ones. I never drink it right. Like, like I put it in a glass and then it's like Dr. Pepper on top of one big ice cube.
You're not supposed to admit that.
Definitely not, right? But that's just what I have handy to me.
I'll take like a bottle of bourbon that's $300 on the secondary market and pour like the worst refrigerator automatic ice cube feeding into it. Pure sacrilege. I think the purists would excommunicate me for it, but I do it anyway.
He lost me at 300.
You drink what you like. That's the rule. Drink what you like.
What? Car payment? What are we talking about? So, but in all seriousness, we talked about the VIP tickets, and I know that they went like hotcakes. So if we're going with GA and that's what's left, what's the difference in the experience? So nobody's a little gun shy about still going GA.
Sure. So, the GA is still an awesome experience. So the difference is VIP gets in 1 hour early, and there's one pour at each booth that's offered to VIP that's not offered to GA, but you still get 5 whiskeys per booth with 67 booths for the GA. So you have plenty of opportunity to try a ton of whiskey.
Do you know how much?
Now, we don't encourage literally trying.
Hey, here's a flight of whiskey. I'm like over here. I'm like 67 times 5.
It's a lot of whiskey.
Yeah, you can imagine what people look like at 5:30 or 6. I mean,
so
do they get like baby shots?
Yes.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny. The tiniest of
the
pours.
world's smallest shot glass.
So he was telling me these stories of this. You just told me this yesterday.
Yeah, because I did a moonshine distillery tour in Tennessee, and they gave us the little baby shot. Is that what you get at Omaha Whiskey Fest?
So your ticket gives you a keepsake glass, so it's a branded glass, and that's what you use. But the pours are quarter ounce pours, and because they're really meant to just taste and move on and try try something else. So and not taste 300.
and in between,
it's meant to like you can pick the brands that you're interested in and walk around and talk to people, but not necessarily drink.
In between, what's the best palate cleanser? Like, what do you recommend?
Ooh, good question.
So that's a tough question. Honestly, as a palate cleanser, it works so well as sour beer. that is an awesome palate cleanser. But we're not pouring sour beer there as a palate cleanser because that's alcohol
chaser,
on top
right.
of alcohol.
Yeah.
So we do have
Just
rinse
like
stations.
water.
Rinse stations,
Some
water.
stations
We have
so water.
complimentary water on hand for
Yep.
everybody. We want people to stay hydrated. We want them to enjoy it responsibly. So
You
we
also
take a
get a-
lot of pride in that.
You also get a box lunch, so eat between
Wow.
between your sampling.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
like,
lot included with the
do I
ticket.
have to
He's
stand
checking
in
the
line?
date,
for
right?
No, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm a little odd. It's
Oh,
a
you
Saturday
have to
after.
be
It's a
there.
Saturday after Illinois, and I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to
working,
say,
so I'm
also,
like,
Nebraska plays Friday night, so everybody has their Saturday afternoon free. Come on down.
100%. 1 to 5 at the Hilton Omaha, October 7th. That is the game after, or the day after. Yeah, the
Yes,
game.
yes, sir.
Well
Yeah.
done. Guys,
You're gonna
thanks
need
so
some whiskey.
much. Jeff, Lori, we appreciate
Yeah.
you stopping in.
Thanks for having
Thank
us,
you.
guys.
All right,
appreciate
when
it.
we come back, we're talking to Matt Vrzal, former Husker and Pison's Pizzeria owner. He's next.
The show will be back in 4 minutes. The show will be back in 3 minutes. The show will be back in 2 minutes. The show will be back in 1 minute. The show will be back in 30 seconds. Coffee and Cream with Rogers and Benning on Hurrdat Sports Radio. Now let's find out what Matt Vrzal is better at, telling stories or making pizza.
Matt.
Matt's an exceptional young man.
Matt Vrzal.
Happy birthday, Matt. You know, Matt, he's a tremendous athlete.
Matt Vrzal.
Come on, Matt, I'm with you.
You know, like Matt Vrzal, you're one of the sexiest people in the world, but you're not one of the most beautiful. How does that happen?
Here is Matt Vrzal.
All right, Matt, thank you very much.
All right, as we wind this thing down on a Friday, we get to talk to our guy, Matt Vrzal. Always excited to talk to Matty, former Husker and Pison's Pizzeria owner at Verz51 on
Damon
Twitter.
left, so you get me.
Well, no, DB's back in the chair. We got three again for you, Matty. Good morning.
What up, boy?
Hey, so you've done this a long time, mate. Does your mood change for game day, or are you just cool?
No, I ain't playing. But
Wow.
I ain't playing.
If they need me to go clap my hands and give them some motivational speech, then that we're in trouble.
They should be running cross country.
Motivator game like this. If your coach is your hype machine, it's probably not going to go real good. Right? So I can make sure we go over yesterday everything, or 2 days ago we went over that we needed to before I had to go back to work, and you do what you got to do.
Any jitters?
Now.
Any jitters that you could really notice from this team, or are they just locked in, ready to go?
I wasn't over. I'm only available now on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm actually, even due to scheduling stuff, I don't know what time, if I'll even make it over to the game tonight. It's the way of the world in restaurant now, and actually just in everybody's profession. So, Big Dan will get them going, and they'll be ready to go. I mean, camp is so long. It's just,
doesn't it seem like that?
Feels like it's been a long time.
It's infinity. Like everybody should have played last week. In school or out of school, don't care. Everybody should have played last week because it's just far too much.
Can you tell us how good? Can you tell the people how good Maxwell Chandler is?
Chandler, as far as like natural instinct to being a linebacker, like at the linebacker position, he's one of the better we've had there. And that's saying quite a bit.
Yeah.
Good ones.
Yeah.
He's a fun one because it's like, hey, bud, right now you're going against a scout team that's going to play, some JV and do well in JV, but you've got to realize that this foot that I'm complaining about you on your scrape to you doesn't matter because you feel you're still making the play. When you get guys the same way that you are, it's going to matter. And so he then, once you explain it, he'll do it, but he's going to fly around like he's 100 miles an hour. He's a go guy. He's just a good kid. He's easily in the top two of the three Chandler brothers' favorites.
When I went to your practice, he was, to me, the most impressive guy that I saw that day. So he's pretty good.
He fly around, and he really lives by the rule. If I just go hard, that's it. I just have to effort as long as I can effort, and if I get tired, I just send my sub in. He does that. He plays hard all the time.
Got to stay healthy.
Now, this may be a little different from high school to college because of how drastic it is, but how much do you think the way offensive line play can change from year to year is dependent on play calling or how you do what you do, even though the group could be the same people?
I don't. I think if you have your systems in play and you have everything you do, you should be very similar. So in your systems, when you go through it, you just have to find
the plays in your book, the 4 or 5 or 6 that you're good at, that fit your talent. The play calls don't necessarily vary; they're also in your playbook. Where the false sense of security comes is when we go play competitive catch and we carve up somebody and like, oh my God, we're now
competitive catch. Is that
7-on-7 catch?
That's the only time people change play calls.
Listen, my offensive line coach yesterday had on a T-shirt, as you know, that said, "Without offensive linemen, you're just playing catch."
Yeah, but you're not wrong.
I mean.
So Matt, do you go ahead?
They monetized backyard football. That's all
Come
you
on.
do when you're a kid.
Come on.
That
I
guy
don't.
sitting next to you with the glasses and the bald head.
Yeah.
Monetized.
Thank God he mentioned bald head because I would have gotten that confused.
Part of me appreciates. I'm like, that's a
Listen, he's gnawing his teeth down. I got on him earlier and he wanted to fight me. You say it to him and he's like, he's terrified.
We're gonna run out of time.
Take
We're
at
gonna
it.
run out of time.
Sautter, what do you got in return?
We are gonna run out of time.
Hey, so
he's very soft. Like if you get at it, he gets all emotional.
Hold up.
I just tried to corral him.
You just call me soft. You just call me soft.
I didn't stutter.
Yes, I knew that was coming.
Hey,
if this was the
you have to be careful because you eat there all the time.
If this was
you eat there all the time.
My man call me soft. He tried to throw a football at my head. He tried to throw a football at my head.
That Sutherland's gonna come out. He's gonna shoot a single leg on me when he gets inside.
Yeah, you saw what happened to my guy Chuck.
So Matt, can I ask you that? Would you hurt the guy's knee? Like, why are you gloating?
Not just hurt the knee.
Towards the meniscus.
Oh my God!
Don't ever forget.
Matty,
never forget.
Can I be excited about Nebraska, how they run the football with just different running plays?
You can be excited about whatever you want to be. Whatever makes you happy, buddy.
Okay.
What you should be excited about is that the quarterback is now a threat. So you're playing 11 on 11 now. It's hard to play 10 on 11. The quarterback now is an option. He's not going to be a big option.
So you don't think like trap or veer or dive or like a 2-back downhill component changes the way you can play? Am I overstating that?
So all of these plays have been in. They're just poorly executed. So it's more just the execution of it. Like, how can we execute these things? How can these things become real?
That's why you like the running quarterback element with those specific plays?
Listen, he ain't even got to carry it. Just carry out a good fake and make that safety think, oh my God, that freak chiseled from stone has the football. I have to go down and hit him. Like that in and of itself eliminates 1.5 defenders. And then when they get lazy, be like, oh, this dude just like the other ones, he ain't got to run it. Psych, kept it, and away we go.
All right,
the depth chart just came out.
I'm more excited. I hope you're more happy that Dear Old Nebraska U, so DEAROLE, Nebraska, u.com is live. And you can go on and you can buy your own Damon Benning parking school shirt. Amongst others.
That site went live. Hit me up with that so I can crank that out.
DEAROLE, NEBRASKA, u.com.
Dude, that you do. I'm gonna give you a little credit.
Did you park good today?
Those T-shirts.
I think he parked fine.
Are hilarious, man.
But he did hide himself, so you can't really see him.
Best wishes tonight too, man. I know it's a top 3 matchup, and it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, should be fun. Good luck to you two tonight. Are you nervous?
Only because it's his last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm human. Like it got to me a little bit this morning.
Emotional.
Oh, so you're predicting easy win.
Whoa, whoa. West. So Damon Benning says Westside's gonna
my man
gonna
just
running clock prep.
yeah.
You said you're only concerned about the senior year, so that means you got no concerns about the game.
And that was in context to my level of nervous energy.
Oh, you went personal.
Wow.
You went personal on the radio.
Wow. Hey, your guy Barrett Liebentritt is named as the or at fullback in the depth
Say
chart.
what?
Your guy Barrett Liebentritt is named as the or at fullback on the official offensive depth chart at Nebraska. How cool is that?
Who's the other one?
Bonner.
Bonner.
Who?
Janarian Bonner, the guy they moved from tight end.
Oh yeah.
He said, oh, yeah. he ain't my guy.
So how cool is the Liebentritt thing?
Leave should have been there.
Yeah,
before.
100%.
Well, 100%, man.
No question.
It was a fit for him.
Yeah.
He's about to do some stuff though. I'll make a bold prediction in the year. He will catch a touchdown pass.
Hey, listen, I'm 100% with you.
I thought you said
I hope I hope
mask.
one of those two gets the first carry of the game against Minnesota. I really do. Just give me
I
like
don't like that cliche crap.
just give me like 32-38 roll or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
All right, Verz. We're going to let you go, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Good boy.
Appreciate it.
Matt Vrzal.
Like pulling teeth, man. Pulling teeth.
Well, that will
soft.
that
All
will
right.
do it for Coffee and Cream.
That's it.
The final show.
That's it.
Next week, you will catch Robbie Lula joining DB here for the
DB.
mornings, Monday through Friday. So make sure to tune in for that. More exciting stuff coming in the ways with me, so just stay tuned there. But for Coffee and Cream, that's it. We'll see you soon.